What is good, people? It is the KOA podcast. I am Sasuke the Savage. He is everything animated. What is good with y'all on this fine Thursday afternoon?
Hello, everybody. Hello, Decrepit Storm. Hey, yo. Speaking of Decrepit Storm, buddy, you are the man. I'm just posting that there in the chat. For those of you that don't know, this man made a best of part one, the years 2018, which is, we started in fall of 2018.
Yep.
All the way to like 2019. So, Decrepit, you did an amazing job with that. Stuff I completely forgot about, and some instant classics, of course. You're great.
Yeah, that was a great video. We definitely appreciated it. It's crazy to think we're going on 7 years going into next season.
Yeah. Fall will be 7 years.
Yes, next season.
Yeah. Yeah, this fall will be that. And that is insane to think. Just the other day, I was just like thinking, wow, I've been doing this a long time. Insane. But I enjoy doing it. I love it so much. It's fun.
Same.
And just all the stuff we get to talk about. Amazing. So thank you again, Decrepit Storm, for that. We look forward to all the other ones you do.
Sure. Keep tagging us in it. If you make another one. What is good, Trayvon? What is good, people? If you guys are unfamiliar with the format of this podcast, what we do is we cover seasonal anime. Those anime from this season, the spring season, being Lazarus, Rock as a Lady's Modesty, Apocalypse Hotel, and sometimes we like to throw in another show that we kind of just want to revisit. That show being Future Diary. This formatting is a little different because usually we choose a show that gives us some nostalgic value or a show that we like. But things are a little different this season. But when we watch these seasonal shows, what we do is by every 3 or so episodes, given that usually seasonal anime are like 12 episodes, we evaluate whether we want to keep watching that show or to drop it off the podcast, kill or pass. And given that it's only me and EA, for a show to be killed, it has to be a unanimous decision. We both have to agree to kill a show for it to be killed off. If one of us decides to pass a show, it will keep going on. Only one show has been dropped off the podcast thus far, that being Ranger Rejects Season 2, unfortunately. But we are almost at the end of the season. Some shows are up for killer passes. But yeah, this is we pretty much have one more solid week of the spring 2025 season and things will be over. By next week we'll announce what we're going to watch. Maybe another additional show like Future Diary, maybe better. I mean, it's hard not to be better than Future Diary.
I mean, that's like, I don't know. That's like saying whoever gets elected after Trump is gonna be insanely better. It's like it's easy to do, not that hard.
Yeah. Crepin Storm said, "Glad you guys enjoyed it. I'm excited to do the rest of them." Hey, we're excited to watch because I mean, it's a lot of the stuff that we forgot. Brings back a lot of memories of weird shit that we say over the course of what's about to be 7 years.
I just love the very first clip was the very first podcast we did, and how I just randomly was like, C-Doctor was like, "Thank you guys for joining us, and I love you." And he didn't even know what to say. He didn't know my weirdness back then. He was like, that's strange.
Is this supposed to happen?
I love you too. He was just so confused. Yeah. Yes, that compilation was better than the Future Diary Decrepit Storm. Absolutely.
Well,
absolutely it was.
Well, I will say, I'm not really in bad spirits. I'm actually in positive spirits, given that yesterday I had the day off. But I mean, I feel like sometimes the chat may be down. Sometimes the podcast can lift them up. Maybe a particular segment can lift them up. EA.
Oh yes, I got that. I got that segment here to not give you the blues. Now let's get ready for the KOA. It's Miracle! Mickey was always merry. I do have something. Where was it? God. No, I lost it.
Oh, damn.
I know. The world's coming to an end.
No shampoo hats! We're out of shampoo hats!
Everybody! Okay, I found it. Couldn't really find much when it came to anime news, but there was basically an announcement of like 33 major titles are set to release next year, and people are getting hyped because we're officially at the halfway mark through 2025. So they were like, here are some confirmed animes that are coming in 2026. The big one, of course, being Frieren Season 2 coming in the winter 2026. I'm so excited for that one. I am looking forward to that one.
Ooh, you have no idea. Anything. You have no idea, yeah. I'm very excited for one of the up and coming arcs, especially because of the character that it gives focus to.
Yep, gonna be another crazy lady. Here we go. No, I don't know. Let's see here. There's a bunch of them some that I don't really care for. There's Fire Force, Hell's Paradise. I heard that one was people really like that one. There's a season 2 coming out, also in winter 2026. Don't know. Can you fucking believe there's a season 4 of Tokyo Revengers?
Oh yeah, I could believe it. That show was very popular.
I didn't think that was gonna be something that would keep going. No. Season 4?
That show was incredibly popular.
Oh,
Now, as far as his reputation and how people feel about it, the hype around it has definitely died down, but that show is still just incredible. Like people, I mean, when that first season came out, we were in a minority when it came to disliking it.
I guess we didn't care for time travel and middle schoolers looking like they were 30-year-olds. So I mean, it is what it is. Did you know that Trigun is getting a sequel? It's called Trigun Stargaze,
Yes.
and it's coming out. And speaking of stuff that's underappreciated and probably gets overlooked, Trigun Stampede I thought was really good. It's basically the sequel to that, and I'm really looking forward to that. And I hope that it continues being just as good as Stampede was, because I'm pretty sure we're gonna get Meryl in the second season, which makes me happy.
Millie.
What? They both start with M.
Mm-hmm.
It just gets me thrown. The really tall one with the fucking awesome machine gun.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you need to know. Season 4 of ReZero, that thing's still going on. If you're still into that,
still got to finish that season.
Season 3 of Oshinoko, man, we may kill it at that season.
I heard with Oshinoko things kind of go a little south with the series.
Yeah, because like that season that we just watched, season 2, was supposed to be their best arc,
mm-hmm.
and I thought it was fine. I wasn't like blown away by it, but I enjoyed it. But now we're going into season 3 of Oshinoko, and oh boy, this is gonna be fun, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed season 2. But if that is where it reaches its heights,
peaks.
I'm a little nervous.
For sure. Yeah, and there's a bunch of shows I've never even heard of. Whatever. No. Oh, Sound Euphonium final movie part 1. I didn't know that was still a thing.
Yeah. Yes. I watched like the first 2 seasons of Sound Euphonium. It's a really great series.
Mm-hmm.
I just never continued it for whatever reason.
Yeah, and they released season 3. I feel like not that long ago, and the whole season's there to be watched, and I haven't watched it for some reason.
The Crevice Storm. I was going to mention that. I'm gonna just let EA continue.
Oh my god. Okay. Chain Soldier season 2, your favorite, coming out next year. They're remaking Ghost in a Shell, and that's coming out next year. That'll be interesting. I wonder what they're going to adapt it off of, like the movie or the series.
Mm.
That'll be interesting. I don't know. Regular Magics. Get out of here. No, I don't know any of these. These must be new ones, but yeah, a bunch of other shows that are coming out that I guess are based off of mangas that people are really hyped for and whatnot. But yeah, why don't you drop the bombshell on that news there, Satsuki?
Bet a live action show based on the manga Kakaguri, one of my favorite mangas ongoing right now, is getting a season 2. It has been renewed. They are going back for seconds.
I mean,
yes. I don't know how this happens. I don't.
Why does that get a season 2?
Listen, I just want to say, first and foremost, I'm happy for the actors involved. I'm glad that they are able to continue their acting careers. Maybe, I don't know if this is everybody's like first gig or anything like that, but I mean, it's a big look, especially considering this is going to be on Netflix. Seems like a lot of people are watching it if they're going for a season 2. So I'm happy for the actors involved. Just want to say that outright.
Yeah, they get their paycheck.
Yeah, I just don't think it's a good series. Given the what did I watch, like 3-4 episodes? I don't think it's a good series, but I'm happy for the people involved.
Yeah, Well, hey, when season 2 comes around, it'll be caught up with the manga. They're just gonna speed run it all the way to.
It is not following the mangas.
Oh, it's not.
Yeah, it is. They're doing their own thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to bet on your vagina. Huh? That's probably something that did happen in Kakiguri.
It is just not a series that you put in live action format. It just Kakiguri is just way too zany and is way too eccentric to be to capture the essence of what makes it great with real people. It needs to be animated. It needs to be drawn with the exaggerated facial expressions. With one of Kakiguri's best one of his best points when it comes to the art is his imagery, and you kind of lose that when you put it in live action. So
unless someone could totally like capture that with their face, just
it is,
but it doesn't work.
Yeah, it just looks cringy. But yeah, that is. Oh yeah, well, one more thing with the news. Summer sale is going crazy. A lot of things are on sale. I bought some things myself. Steins Gate right now, and this is the remade live visual novel is right now like
it's based.
Oh wait, what?
I was gonna say, is it based off of the show?
No. Steins Gate is originally a visual novel, so the anime is based on a visual novel.
Right. I'm sorry, I said that backwards. I know it was that, but what I mean is like the visual novel. Is it kind of like the anime, or is it like a pick and choose where the ending's different?
That I don't know because I haven't played it myself.
Okay.
But from what I understand, the anime is, taking liberties, given that it's a linear story, 24 episodes. I would imagine in the visual novel, there is a true ending, maybe the ending that we got in the anime, but there's also branching off endings, kind of what we saw in the anime, but it's probably way more expansive, because like in the anime, there were some endings that we got that he went back from. So I imagine it's like that, but just way more.
I hope that it doesn't adapt Steins Gate 0. Ugh.
Oh, that's already a visual novel, so.
It is?
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah, the anime is all based on the visual novel, so.
How do you go from making something that's regarded as a classic and just so great, and then you make 0, which is just, ugh.
In fairness to 0, it's not as if it could just be the anime that was lackluster. We don't know, considering we both never played the visual novels of either Steins Gate or 0. So maybe that's it. Things get lost in translation when they adapt these things. So who knows? I know I'm not playing 0 because I don't really care for the characters involved. So I'm gonna stay
Satsuki,
ignorant.
You didn't want to play with the lolly character that was in it.
You know what's funny? About that girl? I think her name was Maho or something. She was actually my favorite character in 0. That was the only character I really liked.
She was so annoying, and then freaking Hyoin Kyomo is just very like depressed and just cries the whole time, and I'm like, yeah, this is what I want to watch. It's just him being sad and depressed. This is a great show.
Oh. Well, summer sale though. I bought me Steins Gate. Red Dead Redemption is super cheap right now. Red Dead Redemption 2, that is. And I bought some random girls love dating sim visual novel. I don't know what the fuck it is. It was cheap. I walked away with 3 games and my total cart was like $28. So I feel like I won.
Not bad at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So get yourself that Steam summer sale. They always do it every season, and right now it's day 1 of the summer sale. And Repo also had an update today. So they got brand new level and like other things that you can do. But I love Repo. Yeah. That in itself just pays for itself, even without a sale.
Mm-hmm. Persona 3 Reload is like what $41 right now. It's a lot of things you guys can get. The sale lasts until July 10th. So you got some time.
Long time. Yeah.
Yeah. If you got to wait
Don't
for
wait.
the next paycheck, hey, do what you need to do. But I would try to check out some of these games. It's probably something that you're interested in. So yeah. But that is about it for the news. We're going to jump right into spring 2025 anime, starting with none other than a show that's going to last, presumably, into the next week. The only one that's going to be here, Lazarus, episode 12. EA, I just want to say, first and foremost, I don't know how you feel about this episode, but I just want to say for me, I like this episode, but it just feels too little too late.
No, you nailed it right on the head. I enjoyed it. It's not my favorite episode, but it was enjoyable to the sense where I was just like, okay, this is nice. Too bad we're on episode fucking 12 and we only have 1 day left before the world ends.
Yeah, that's the problem. It feels like, all right, we were bullshitting for all these episodes. Let's actually do something. And it feels
bullshit.
It feels like things are happening in this episode. I mean, it's a whole bunch of moving parts. But again, it just feels like this should have been spread throughout the series rather than this episode where everything is starting to finally move in place. And you know what's funny? Your girl, the one that you hate, is the one that pushed the story forward.
Yeah. And she only said hardcore once and it wasn't annoying. It was just hardcore. She just said it like that. I was like, thank you. Thank you for not being annoying when she said it. So yeah, she did do that, and she actually was tolerable this episode. So I was like, good job, directors. Good job, artists, making her tolerable character to the point where I didn't want to gouge my eyes out. That episode with her by herself, every other word, hardcore. Oh, I wanted to throw up.
I didn't realize, but her she's voiced by Brittany
Grabowski.
Yeah. Because whenever I hear her voice, I always recognize her. I don't, you know how you always hear a voice actress or a voice actor, and there's a particular voice you think of when you hear them. Anytime I hear her voice, I think of Eurippy from Angel Beats. So when I heard her, I was like, is that fucking Eurippy?
Yeah, she's like that's how I kind of remember her too. Is that. And also, whenever she like lowers her voice to a guy's Black Star, that's her voice.
Yeah.
But other than that, or you can even like throw out, what's his face from Full Metal Alchemist. But yeah, as soon as I heard that voice too, I was like, that's Brittany Grabowski. Like, I feel like that's her normal speaking voice. She's just like, hi, I'm Brittany. It's like, yeah, I could tell. That is definitely you. Some people just have those natural voices to where they were born to be voice actors. Yeah. Like that one dude. I can never remember his name. I think it's like Aries or something.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Where he just sounds whiny like this, and that's his whole character. It's like, I want a unique voice like that to where I could just voice act and just do that.
Oh, whenever I hear his voice, I always think of the character from Clannad, the blondie.
The blonde hair.
Yeah.
Yep. He was perfect for that role. Mm-hmm. And also the Jewish guy from Ghost Stories.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I forgot his name in the Ghost Stories, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, but overall, I mean, if we were doing the award show, this would be considered my most disappointing. I'm locking it in. This is my lock for the most disappointing of the season, and it's not even close just because of the name behind it. So it's just, well, I guess we could talk about the episode before we get into the depression. But everybody likes to be in a coma this episode. We have Axel in a in a bed. We have Doug in a bed. I guess it was just those two. And oh my god, I don't even know what. Elena, not Ellie. What the fuck? Elena. She woke up in a not in a bed or anything, but like on a couch. She was sick. They said this whole episode, 3 people were sick. Just waking up. Oh my god.
The Cripple Storm said more disappointing than Ranger Reject. For me, Ranger Reject would be the most disappointing, just because all you had to do was follow the damn train, CJ. You just had to follow the manga. They took so many. I understand why they took the liberties too, because they wanted to get to a certain point. But I always just go like, all right, you didn't have to do that though. So yeah. But as for this episode, with Popcorn Wizard, she introduced herself as Lynn. I actually enjoyed her character this episode. They kind of toned down the, I guess, like one note chipperness that she was giving off when we first saw her. You know, she was just hacker girl that was very enthusiastic, and we didn't really get anything from her character other than that. It just came off as annoying. But this episode, they worked more towards to humanize her. She explained her reasons for why she was helping Dr. Skinner in the first place, which is understandable, because she was helped out by Dr. Skinner, being, you know, a poor person on the island, you know, them suffering from their disease where they can't feel pain. Dr. Skinner comes around, buys the island, helps them relocate, and she expresses her, you know, eternal gratitude because of that. So yeah, it makes sense why she would help Dr. Skinner, and I'm sure other people have stories like this of Dr. Skinner helping them, and that's why they're all defending him and saying that he wouldn't end the world. A lot of people feel that way. So it kind of brings into question what exactly is going to happen with this last episode, because we're still left in the dark as to how this whole thing is going to work. Are people actually going to die, or are they just going to have weird galaxy Milky Way eyes? What exactly is going to happen to everybody?
My eyes are no longer part of me. Madam President, are you okay?
Fucking sick, man.
You see, look into my eyes when I'm talking to you. No, ma'am, I don't want to look. This is disgusting.
That is scary.
Oh, for sure. For sure. But, yeah, I will admit, with all of her annoyances back in those previous episodes and me just wanting to rip her head off, she redeemed herself this episode. Popcorn Wizard, aka Lynn. And you know, I definitely understand her point of view, where she's coming from and why she said what she did. And the only thing I was thinking of the whole time, I'm like, oh, that's nice of Dr. Skinner to do that and just kill the rest of the world. That was really nice of him.
Yeah, good guy.
All because he wants to bring awareness to global warming.
It was a couple other things, but I mean, yeah, I mean, I feel like with what they're going for with Dr. Skinner's character, because again, we still don't know how this whole thing is going to end. I would imagine, considering we only have one episode and we still haven't even talked to this guy, that people aren't going to die from this disease. Because if it ends like that, I would be very surprised at Shinichiro Watanabe, because while there may be like some nihilistic themes in his series, generally his series don't end that desolate. I know like Cowboy Bebop ends with how it ends. You know, anybody who's seen it understands that, but it's not as if the whole world is thrown in, you know, like a doom type of situation. So I just can't imagine him just going, all right, yeah, the whole world is fucked. You guys should have never littered. You guys should have never
You should have never crossed the Skinner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Should have never fucked with me.
This is what you get.
This is what you deserve. You get what you deserve. I can't imagine that. So I feel that I don't know what it's going to take, but everybody's going to live in the end. That being said, I feel like this whole thing that Skinner did was more of trying to show the world a reflection on themselves. It exposed a lot of people who didn't care about other people, that being like Dan Snyder and, these other government officials who were just doing whatever they can to not get exposed by Hirsch and Abel and whatnot. And then, you get a lot of the infighting with people and stock drop. I feel like he was trying to make a reflection of society and showing them this is what you become. This is what really matters. And you should start caring about some of the things that you're neglecting. I feel that's his point. And you could definitely argue that is a little immoral, considering no matter what, even if Hopna doesn't kill people, he is responsible for people's deaths. So it's an interesting dilemma. I'm, intrigued to see how it all ends, but I feel like that's Dr. Skinner's whole deal.
I just wanted to save the babies. Why didn't you listen to me? Yeah, crazy stuff, especially because we only have one episode. I feel like the last episode is going to be a complete and total clusterfuck, and it's going to be so rushed, and then we're just going to have an ending, and it's going to be over, and then that's it. And I don't have faith that this is going to be a good ending. I know that's saying a lot. I'm sorry, Sensei Shinichiro Watanabe. I will always cherish you as a director and everything that you've done for the anime community. I'm not taking that away from you. I'm just saying, and maybe it's not even his fault. Like I said, this was a collaboration with Adult Swim, so who knows? Maybe Adult Swim fucked him over for all we know. I don't know. At the same time, like, I feel like could have been so many things that could have been done.
Well, you want to read what Trayvon said in the chat?
Yeah, I didn't even. If he just talked about it, let's see. Only had the choice to make 13, nothing more, nothing less. It was confirmed on Reddit today. Well, there you go. Watanabe, this is not on you. This is on Adult Swim and what they did. Oh my god. But no. That's tough, because I feel like we even talked about this and we said he would have stretched it out longer and done this in like 24, 25 episodes, and it probably would have been a better series. So, yeah. Okay. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense, Trayvon. So, that stinks. The man needed more time, and he needed more episodes to tell his story.
Well, here's the thing. If he knew there was 13 to 12 or 12 to 13 episodes, he has to rework the story to fit that. I mean, you can tell a compelling story in that amount of time. I mean, it is what it is. We already have a story that we're going to talk about later on that did exactly that told a complete story. So I have the link, Trayvon. I see it. Yeah, I see it. I'll post it for EA in our chat.
Cool. Yeah, I'll look at it later. But yeah, I definitely agree with what you're saying. And maybe it's something that he's just not used to, because he's an old school director and whatnot, and he's, used to a certain rhythm and a certain feel when it comes to like making the series. And I don't want to sound like I'm defending the guy, because I don't know his thought process or whatever, but usually his better stuff is longer than it is shorter.
I mean, yeah, think about it. Like, think about the ones that we favor. Shamrock Champloo, Cowboy Bebop, Carolyn Tuesday. All of these are over 24 episodes.
Yep.
Every single one of them.
They're all great. All perfect. With endings and stories that make sense and don't seem convoluted or even like stretched for time. They have those episodes that have those room to breathe. He made an episode that was like that in the series, and I feel like that's what he likes to do, but it's like he didn't need to do that for this series. It's like he needed to be a lot more concise and trimmed it up. So, yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, I just think that we're starting to see like the weakness of him as a director in that he isn't as concise as you would like, where he likes to have episodes where it may not progress the plot, but it may just be interesting to him or an idea that he likes to convey through the story. But given that it's a 12, 13 episode series, is when those episodes really impact too much. You know what I mean? It's like,
oh yeah.
Let's think about this is going to be a bad analogy, but let's think about like an NBA season versus an NFL season. You can lose an NBA, you can lose one NBA game and be fine. It's 82 games in the season. If you lose an NFL game, it hurts. It means way much more.
Yeah, especially if you get on a losing streak, it's hard to dig yourself out of. Yeah, NBA, hell, even baseball. 162 fucking games in baseball. I don't think anybody is going to like shed a tear whenever it's like, well, we need to win this game tonight. Shit. Well, we'll get them next time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree.
Yeah. But yeah, going back to this episode, Doug ends up escaping through the help of Lynn and Elena. They hijack his his hospital bed.
That's true.
Yeah, which makes you think, is everything automated? Like even this is automated to where they could just move people remote controlly. I mean, I guess that makes sense, but it's like, damn. Like, it just makes you think, what else is automated like that?
I would be terrified to find out what it is. Like, you could be sitting on the toilet and then that thing shoots you up in the air and you're just blasting off into outer space.
You done?
I'm sorry, you talk? Yes, thank you for your shit.
You need more fiber in your diet.
You know, I don't need your shit right now. No, I need yours.
Feed me.
Yeah, feed me, Seymour. Oh, God. Yeah, be very interesting, but yeah, everything is just like attached to some like mechanism that moves on its own. We live in the world of Wall-E at this point, if that's the case.
Yeah. Axel's fighting for his life, but later on he's kind of good. I
mean, he got himself a nice little smoochy smooch.
Yeah. Which I knew they were going to lead up to that, just given how the conversation was going. But I was like, where did this come from? I don't think they've really shown any romance between Axel and Chris.
If anything, Chris and Elena sleeping in the same bed together would have more romance than Axel and Chris, because they had maybe one or the very first episode, she points a gun at him trying to kill him. So romantic. And then, we get the DJ club episode. Okay. Any other episodes where they kind of did some stuff together? Not really.
Yeah.
I mean, he saved her life from that offshore oil rig. But other than that, it wasn't just him. It was a group effort.
Yeah.
So.
I don't mind it. It's not like I'm mad that it happened. I was just like, where did this come from?
Mad. It should have been me. Chris, you were mine. Also, I thought you were into women. I guess she's bisexual.
Yeah, I thought she was bisexual. She had a comment where when she looked at young Dr. Skinner, she said he was hot. So I always assumed that she was bisexual. I didn't like the kiss. Well, he didn't like it. He didn't like it, Chris.
I didn't like it. The kiss was so overrated. It should have been me. I'm sorry, Trayvon.
Donald McDonald is back. Our favorite
His name.
Yeah, our favorite pedo is back.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm so glad he. Remember that episode where we really enjoyed it and we said, let's get the pedo to come back? Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Why? No reason.
And then Leland sees him, and of course, because, Leland was dressed up as a girl when they met at the club. And he's like,
before?
Yeah, they did that whole thing. Which makes
me play with this cat.
That makes me think that they left Leland alone just for the sake of this joke.
Yeah.
just for this joke of, do I recognize you, Leland? No. I think that was the whole purpose of him being left alone there by himself. Which is crazy, but I guess.
Got him.
And yeah, he's helping, hacking, doing his thing, because he's one of the 3 hackers. And everybody's looking for Dr. Skinner. But ultimately,
they're not trying that hard. We're literally one day away from humanity ending. Where was all the best agents trying to come after this man? They're just like, whatever.
Yeah,
eat my steak.
You would think that he would have already had a deal because he was like, yeah, I'm doing this for reduced time, whatever. You would think they would have given him that deal, considering, like, I know they had Elena, but you would think you would try to get everybody you can, criminal or not, to try to find this dude, considering the stakes are.
The literal world is going to end.
Yeah.
And people are treating it like another Monday.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, well, I'll get it tomorrow. There ain't gonna be no tomorrow. You gotta get it now.
Trayvon said, when did you realize the show was starting to decline? We recognized it early. We were talking about this early. We were by, I want to say by like episode 5, 6, we started to go, this
Hardcore
isn't
episode was when I was like, what was the point of that episode?
Yeah, we were, it was definitely before the halfway mark. We were starting to look at the progression of the story, what we were doing. There was things that we liked, of course, but I think it wasn't moving in the way we thought it should. And we weren't learning about the characters that we did in previous Shinichiro Watanabe works. Because as a cast, this was one of his weakest in terms of just characterization, because I felt like I knew all of his characters in all of his series that I've watched. Like I knew who the Cowboy Bebop characters were in and out.
Yep.
I knew even the Samurai Champloo characters in and out. I knew the Carolyn Tuesday characters in and out. I don't feel like I know this cast as well as I should.
And the one character that I feel like we didn't even like get to know at all, and I thought we were gonna get it this episode, is Doug. He is a guy who, when this first began, he had the whole "I did something that I regret and I murdered somebody," blah blah blah. That's the implication as to what happened. And I thought we were gonna get that as he was laying there on the hospital bed. He was like, "This is like that incident that happened again." And I thought we were going to get a flashback or something to kind of like tie that in. We never got it. And I'm just like, so we're going to go this whole freaking series and not even know who Doug is. What a shame.
Yeah. He pretty much got shafted as far as like having an episode centered on him. Pretty much everybody had something to that effect. Leland had this episode where he went back home. Elena had the cult episode. Chris had her episode where her lover kidnaps her. Axel technically didn't really have that, but you could argue the last episode was kind of, very focused on him with that fight, and even like the first episode, him breaking out of prison, all that stuff. Doug just didn't. He felt like a complimentary piece to everybody in terms of getting the backstory and characterization everybody else got.
Yeah,
which isn't a lot, but yeah.
Doug is literally a background character with a purpose. That's essentially his role. Because what do you know about him?
He
I
has
did
great
something
hair.
bad. He has great hair. He was a student and like punched a teacher in the face because he was a racist. Other than that, what else do we know about him? Nothing really, other than just he's good at firing a gun, and according to Chris, he looks 40. That's about it.
Decrepit Storm said a couple of things. I feel like 90% of the reasons why anime originals have bad track record on KOA is just that they try to tell a complete story in 12 to 13 episodes, which adaptations don't typically do. That is very true. It's probably why anime originals are so often rushed and end poorly. Lazarus is a perfect example of this. I would say Tacto P2.
Ecto P. Every once in a while they get it right. Odd Taxi was only 12 episodes, and I thought they did a good job with it.
Yeah, he mentioned
Ping
that.
Pong the Oh, I'm sorry. Ping Pong the animation. Even though is that adapted on something? I can't remember.
I'm not sure.
It's called the animation, so I'm assuming it's like based off a book or something.
He says, in Carolyn Tuesday, the one great original show on the podcast before the season was Two Cores. True. Obviously, there are exceptions such as Odd Taxi and, of course, Apocalypse Hotel, but it happened many times, even just on KOA. Yeah, it is a reoccurring thing with a lot of anime originals. In terms of like why I'm drawn to anime originals is because there's like this sense of wonder with where the story is going to go, since there is like nothing I can leech from as far as manga readers saying you should expect this, light novel readers saying you should expect this. I have no idea what's going to happen in the story. It feels like I'm just reading a manga for the first time with no real expectations. So that's the draw for me.
For sure, I appreciate originals for that exact same reason. You don't get no manga snobs that are just like, that's not what happened in the manga. Nope, that's not what happened. Nope, it was better. It was better. Because what can they do for anime originals? That's not what happened. Shut up. They have nothing to argue with at that point. So I agree. I love anime originals, but they're just so, you don't know what you're gonna get with them. That's for sure.
Yeah. The Crepus Storm said Tacto P, Licorice Recoil, Negaposy. Oh, it's so sad because I wanted to like them all. Like when we first watched Tacto P, we enjoyed the first episode, and we enjoyed a good majority of Licorice Recoil, like at least like half of the series, probably a little more than that. I think it just dropped the ball with like its last 4 episodes. And Negaposy, we enjoyed for a majority of the fucking series, and then it just decided it was going to be ass like the last 2 episodes.
And that was a series that was decent at telling a backstory of the characters. Like it was just very interesting. But yeah, then it just ends with, I'm going fishing, Grandma. Or I don't even remember how it ended. It was just he didn't have that tumor in his brain anymore. They took it out his face or something.
But going back to the episode, HQ has dissociative identity disorder. We don't care.
It's the same person?
We don't care. Nobody cares about this character.
No, he was introduced 2 episodes ago, and now all of a sudden we're just like, oh no, poor guy. I give up on the mission.
There's almost like no tension when it comes to HQ and this Axel thing. At least when it comes to how I feel about it, I'm like, he's not going to kill Axel in the last fucking episode. No. Unless we're going to do a whole Spike thing.
Axel just looks at the camera. Hey.
That would be so trash. I think HQ killing Axel the last episode would be the worst thing ever.
Yeah, please don't do that, Shinichiro Watanabe. Please, I know it wasn't your. you had the producer basically say, take it or leave it, but come on, don't do this. You needed more time to tell your story.
The HQ
God.
thing is just so. It came at the end of the series. It feels like it's out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
There's no proper build up to this character. So, by the time you get to this and you keep giving us information about this character, it just makes us go, why should we care?
And that's really the big problem, is that if you don't give a shit about these characters, why should... Well, if we don't feel a certain way, it almost kind of like tells you what the production was when it came to like making them, because it's like, oh well, you rushed this, it seemed like you didn't care, so why should I care?
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't work.
Yeah. Dan Schneider is doing his thing. He kills the other military guy.
Oh no! And these these guys are idiots. They didn't take one look at him and go, "The fuck happened here? He would have killed me too."
With the gun right beside him.
Oh, that's weird. That's not at all inconspicuous or suspicious or sus or any of those words.
Yeah.
This guy screams evil. And not only that, weren't these Abel's men that were going in after them?
Yeah, later. Because those men that walked in on that were his, or the guy that died, like his military men.
Okay. Some reason I thought it was Abel's men, because I was like, you would think he would have told them that, but okay, that makes more sense now.
Yeah. Well, it based the question of, if they saw their commander just get shot, are they just going to follow the next man's orders? Like, okay,
well,
you look smart, we'll follow you.
You don't look evil at all with that weird grimace on your face. Let's follow this guy. He looks trustworthy.
As long as you're going to pay, it's fine with me.
I don't care where the money comes from. I don't care who I follow. Just keep it coming. Jeez. But yeah. So Abel, I don't know if we talked about this, but essentially he pulls a favor, basically saying, "Hey, Madam President, can you write an executive order to have us kind of like go after Dan Schneider?"
Mm-hmm.
And she says with the wonderful eyes, "Rest in peace." No, she just, "Madam President,
power granted." Just looks like Dr. Manhattan and shit.
Oh my god. But yes, that happens, and they're like, "We want Hirsch back, and we're also going to expose the fact that you tried to kill Axel and you did experiments with Hopna, blah 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 blah." Kind of signifying and kind of drawing toward the holds. Dan Schneider's going to get his comeuppance in the end, even though it just feels so. I mean, when were we introduced to this guy? Like 4 episodes ago, and now he's getting.
It feels
like, who cares?
It feels tacked on. That's the problem. Like, this wasn't a brewing antagonist that you led up to, and that's the same problem with HQ. Is that this was kind of, it felt tacked on. He was not an antagonist in the first 8 episodes of the series, and now all of a sudden he is. It's like we're focusing on this guy, and then you don't even give him enough charisma for us to really feel, I don't know, enticed by him as a villain. Like, we don't. That's the thing. We don't care. It just goes back to that. We don't care about HQ. We don't care about Dan Schneider. We barely care about Hirsch. We don't give a fuck about Abel. And we do care about Lazarus, but it's like, how much do we care? Because you didn't focus on him.
Yeah, it's like the world coming to an end and everybody dying wasn't enough of a threat. We had to go ahead and we had to add this twirly mustache railroad tying villain just to, make us, I don't know, care more that there was more urgency. Did any of us think for one second this guy was going to get away with what he was doing? No. I looked at him and I'm like, if this was a Pokemon episode. It's a villain of the week. That's not Team Rocket or anything. Just some like, I don't know, evil like trainer or somebody that's got attitude. That's kind of the same aura that he has. And even then, you can have more memorable scenes with characters like that than you would someone like Dan Schneider.
This is Shinichiro Watanabe's problem with this 13 episode format, is that he still tries to tell a story as if he has 26 episodes. It's like when you know you're in a time constraint, just make some shit simple. Like, why are we should HQ, for example, should not have a backstory. Just make him like a Terminator-esque villain and he will be more entertaining that way. Just make him somebody that is hell-bent on killing somebody because he got paid, and that's it. You just got to make him simple. You don't have to make him as complicated as you're trying to make him, because when it fails, because that's what's happening right now, when it fails, it just feels like he's a wasted character. Like, why do we even focus all this time on him in the first place? Just make them simple. Some things don't need to be explained. And that's this show's problem. The things that we care about are not being explained enough or not being focused on. And the shit that we damn sure don't give a fuck about are getting explanation. We're like, wait, we don't care. Why is this episode focused on this? We don't care.
We literally had, I feel like it was a fourth of the last episode where we had this really artistic, artsy-fartsy flashback of the killer and how he became an assassin. And I'm like, and I agree with you. Did we fucking need that? Did we need any of that? I was expecting, look, have it rushed, have it whatever. I was expecting a super badass fight and that the episode was going to focus on that. And what we got was a very average, not even that impressive kind of fight, to be honest. Maybe with some cool visuals here and there. That was it. And then on top of that, we get, for the remaining fourth of the episode, this really cool backstory of this character that we just introduced last week. So glad that we got to know about this person that we give two shits. Yeah, it's really annoying.
It's I kind of call back to One Punch Man. One Punch Man is a series that kind of highlights that simplicity. There's beauty in simplicity. One of my favorite monsters in One Punch Man. I want to see if you can guess it first. EA, can you guess who's my favorite monster in One Punch Man?
I think you said it. It's that really gross looking guy, right?
Fear Ugly?
I don't remember his name, but it's the one where like he's like ugly and like I don't even think he's even in the anime. He's just in the manga right now.
That's Fear Ugly.
And he's just a straight up just monster and just goes around killing people.
He's not my favorite. He's I think he's like the best representation of what a monster is in that series. My favorite is Rover. Rover, the big ass dog, all black.
Yeah.
My favorite is Rover. Rover does not talk. Rover does not have a backstory. Rover just destroys. That is Rover's whole character. Rover is just, he is destruction incarnate. It is it's like Kid Buu, basically. Sometimes you can just have something be very simple and it still impacts people where they become memorable, where you enjoy them, where they have charisma. You don't have to have everything have a backstory or this and that. Sometimes you just, HQ could have been he could have been more than what he was if you gave us less of what you gave us. And it's funny to think about that, but yeah.
No, I agree. Rover is basically kind of like Godzilla. Godzilla is the personification of the atomic bomb and the power behind it and whatnot. Doesn't talk, a mass monster of just destruction with no remorse, doesn't give two shits and just destroys.
Yeah,
unless we want to talk about the ones from the 60s where he's a superhero, but we don't. We don't talk about that.
You don't need to know why Godzilla destroys.
He destroys.
Yeah.
And that's it. But yeah, I agree. I agree. It's everything has to have a backstory when it doesn't have to. I agree. The simplicity and just just it all would have been fine with me. Well, I wanted that epic fight scene, but we never got it, and that made me. That was probably the final straw for me.
Yeah. Well, we pretty much talked about everything there is to talk about this episode, so it is time to make a decision. EA, I'm putting you on the hot seat. This is a kill or pass week for this show.
See, it's nice and warm.
Yeah.
What did you do?
Yeah, I'm about to light it up some more. This is a kill or pass week for Lazarus. There's one more episode left. Are you going to be the heartless person that they're saying that you are in the chat, EA? And are you going to kill this show? Don't look at the chat. Don't look at the chat. That's what they're saying. That's what they're saying.
Okay. Okay. I have to go off of what I know and just be completely and totally honest. Shinichiro Watanabe is one of my favorite directors. I will still throw it out there. I will defend the man. I don't give a fuck. It's just one of those things where you can't win them all. You can't be... I don't know. What's the director that never misses? I can't think of one right off the top of my head.
For me, it'll probably be Hiroyuki. Let me make sure I'm getting his name right.
Honestly, you talking about Kill la Kill director?
Kill la Kill, Gurren Lagann.
And Gurren Lagann. He never misses.
Mm-hmm.
He's pretty damn good. He's got a good track record. Even with stuff that he's barely involved in, it seems like he knocks it out of the park.
Also, that is not his name. Oh wait, no, it was right. It was right.
Okay, I was about to say we love this man. We don't know who he is.
You know what it is? Hiroyuki is the name of the director and the composer. So I thought I had it wrong. So the director's name is Hiroyuki Imashi, and the composer is Hiroyuki Sawano. And they've done incredible work across a whole bunch of other series.
Okay, so he may not win them all, but damn it if I don't love the man and for his influence on the anime culture and whatnot. But I can't lie to myself when it comes to stuff like this. I am hugely disappointed with this series, and I feel as if the ending is going to be so bad to where it's going to this is probably going to be considered one of his worst. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, I mean, say what you will about Kids on a Slope and how the ending was rushed. At least it had everything Shinichiro Watanabe, from the music to the characters to just everything else was fantastic. The ending was just a little juxtaposition, I think. But I never thought I'd say these words, but I'm killing this episode of Lazarus. Killing it.
How could you be so heartless?
I'm sorry, Kanye.
Oh, how could you be so heartless? Well, the decision goes to me. I bear the responsibility of if this show will be continued. Yes, you do. I bear the responsibility of whether the show will be carried on this podcast next week. I mean, it's only literally next week. I'm gonna be honest. I said at the start, when we talked about this, I enjoyed this episode. I just think it's too little too late. So for me, I'm passing it. I want to see how this ends. It is one more episode. I don't mind it. I don't even mind it being horrible. I just got to see how it ends, and I want to talk about it in this podcast.
Fair enough.
So
let's do it.
That's my opinion on it. And
Trayvon says Miyazaki don't miss either. I mean, that guy's a fucking legend.
Yeah, for sure. I wish I seen more of his works, but from just what I have seen, oh my god, Princess Momonoke.
Mononoke. Yeah.
Oh, that series or that movie. EA, have you seen it?
Oh yeah, I've seen all this stuff. It's great.
I love that. I love that movie. That is my favorite anime movie. I watched it one time on stream this year. I was like, wow, this movie is incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, his stuff is fantastic. Makoto Shinkai is another guy who I feel like is just great. And he did Your Name.
Mm-hmm.
Your Name is a masterpiece. And all of his other stuff is pretty good too. I haven't seen his newest one. I think it's called like, not the weather one, but it's like something with a door. Can't fucking remember. But he's pretty good too.
All right, so let me put it on the pass screen.
You pass this time.
All right. We're done. Yeah. Spirited Away. You know what? I might watch that tomorrow.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
And My Neighbor Totoro. That one's a great one too.
Yeah. I might check out Spirited Away tomorrow when I stream.
Spirited Away is definitely worth it. Like, I think that was the first one I saw of Miyazaki, was that, and I was just like, whoa.
Yeah. It always used to come on Cartoon Network, but I never watched it in full. Yeah, I'll probably watch it tomorrow since I'm not playing. I'm taking a week break from Elden Ring. I haven't told you guys about my Elden Ring experience, but that game has took away like spiritual energy, like life blood from me in spades.
A gray hair I see?
Elden Ring has took everything away from me. But yeah, like I beat Melania, thank God.
I was there to catch it, by the way.
Yeah, it was like in the first hour.
You were just like, let's fucking go as soon as you beat her.
That was like in the first hour on the Sunday stream, because I tallied up the time I fought her. I fought her for, and this is just on stream, I fought her for 8 hours and 37 minutes on stream.
Jesus Christ.
That's just on stream, because I fought her off stream too. If I add that time, it probably totaled up to be 12 hours.
And I just got there just in time for you to kill her.
No, it was very taxing. So I said, after that fight, I said I'm taking a week break. But yeah, moving on to the next show, we are talking about Rock is a Lady's Modesty, episode 13, the end of the show, the finale. It is so funny that the abbreviated title I came up with the show was Rockin' Ladies, and that was damn near the name of the band.
Damn near. You did really good. But instead, they're called Rock Lady.
Mm-hmm.
They really need to coordinate their outfits and just wear nothing but stones.
just have a rock as a mascot or something.
Right. Just have a fucking like pet rock and put googly eyes on it or something. This is the Rock of Rock Ladies.
Tina would definitely do that. You know, she likes talking to inanimate objects.
Oh, for sure. She is. She's gotten a lot better on the keyboard, but she is definitely cuckoo. She's got that split personality. But anyway, well, so yes, that's the truth. This group, it shows like a little flashback before they even start playing and whatever. And they're trying to come up with names. Oh, we got to call it, I don't even remember the names. Like, I think one of them, Otaha was saying something about like stripping and naked or something. I don't know. Something weird.
It was something sadist. It was something sadist. Lisa says something iron. It was something with iron. In the name.
Iron. And they said totally 80s. And I'm like, yeah, it really is.
Yeah, Otaha's was something sadist. Sadist something.
Uh-huh.
And I was just like, what?
And freaking what was it? Tina was like, "Oh, we could call it something like peppermint." Just I don't know. She was like something cute. It's totally kawaii. And then Shiro was just like black and white,
Yeah,
or like something like emo.
Shiro's definitely the type to go to McDonald's just for a black coffee and leave.
Oh fuck. Yeah. You are not kidding when it comes to that. She's just like she'll order it like this too. She'll go, "Can I have a black coffee?" "Oh sure. Would you like anything else?"
No.
Okay. What's the name gonna be under? Shiro Badass. All right. Shiro Badass, your black coffee is ready. Yeah, but no, they it was Alice that came up with the name, and she said, well, you don't find out till the song's over, but whatever. It's Rock Lady. Rock Lady is the name of their group.
Yeah, I feel like it's fitting.
Yeah, very fitting because they're an instrumental band and they play rock and they're ladies. Would it make more sense to call them Rockin' Ladies? Sure, but whatever. Rock Lady works too. Go Rock Lady! They play really good in this episode, and I love how they kind of like showed everybody's powers and their strengths.
No, you had it right the first time. I mean, they have a sequence where it's like a Power Ranger-esque deal with all the colors and like they really emptied the clip with that performance. I felt.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they really did. They saved the animation for this particular episode for sure, and yeah, they like everybody was just on Showcase doing their thing. Tina doing a keyboard solo, Shiro doing a bass line. Even a drum solo happened in the performance. And also, Sasuke, you fucking called it. You said the women were going to fall in love with these. We're going to fall.
They turned them lesbians. I knew it was going to happen.
Yep, they looked at Tina and saw those jiggles and was just like, I like this girl.
Yeah, Tina and Shiro just turned them all lesbian. I was like, well, I guess. That's all it takes.
we love this boy band, but holy shit. Look at the jiggle physics and look at her being brash and just not showing any emotion. I love this woman. I love these women. I love this whole band.
That's what it took.
Yeah, but yeah, you called it, and yeah, their whole performance was just epic, really cool. They won over the crowd. They actually got them cheering. I was almost going to be pissed off at Otaha, but it was a process of the whole how she kind of did everything because she was just like, I'm drumming. This is boring. I hate doing this shit. Whatever. She discovered a new thing that she loved because of this performance. And it's the fact that, playing by herself was fun and she liked it for the music, but it's an adrenaline rush whenever you hear people cheering you and calling your name and like actually excited what you're doing. That changed her whole perspective. She was just like, oh, this is what it feels like to rock. And this is what it feels like to perform in front of an audience. And I really liked that. It just kind of like changed her whole perspective as she was playing.
Yeah, I mean, I always like was defending Otaha when it came to that last episode because I know how that kind of comes off for people where it feels like, I mean, she said it herself, she was being very narrow-minded. And I think for me, I kind of empathize with that because I feel the same thing. I think kind of similar to Otaha. Not in everything that she does, of course. But but like in a sense of not wanting to compromise yourself, no matter what other people say, I can empathize with that very heavily. And that's what she was going through, because from her perspective, she's been doing something a certain way and she's been having fun doing it that way. And when somebody tries to bring her out of her comfort zone, she's thinking, what is the point of this? I know what works for me. This isn't what I like. But when she's brought into the spotlight and she's hearing the fans cheer for her, and it starts to become less of a selfish endeavor and more towards, like, making sure the crowd is appeased, because you can achieve both. You can play your style of music and still do what the fans like, right? And that's what Ota had to learn with what Lalisa was trying to tell her. You don't have to take your music doesn't have to turn people off. You could play you could do your style of music and that be the thing that attracts people. And that's what she had to learn. And she makes a complete turnaround, because she actually wants to see what they can do to play to the crowd the next time they play. I know that's jumping ahead, but we saw a lot of change in Ota within this episode, and I very much enjoyed it.
Yeah, very good change, and I definitely I enjoyed it as well. Everything about that performance was awesome. I love the music. Yes, I agree. Otaha's drum solo was amazing. It was really good, especially when they laid heavily into it, because of like I said. But it did their thing: the keyboard, to bass, to guitar. Then it was up to Otaha when she had that whole perspective change, where she's just like, I actually like performing in front of a crowd, and then just started doing her thing. She did all this barefoot, by the way. Yeah. She didn't even have any shoes on. I'm like, that's impressive. Mm-hmm. It's really impressive. And yeah, she was rocking her little heart out and just killed it. All the ladies in the crowd were kind of swept away. Not just loving the actual ladies themselves, but turning lesbian, but actually just the music, because it was probably something that they weren't really accustomed to, because they had this poppy sound. This was straight up just rock, maybe even a little bit of hard rock, but definitely just that rock intensity was behind it. And I think when anybody listens to rock, it gets them in that mood where you're just like, oh, my body's moving. What's happening? Oh, I like this. I'm headbanging.
Yeah, it's like your first taste of something that's experimental. When you listen to something that is so far from the norm, so far from conventional methods of making music, it will do something to you. It'll stun you. It will make you intrigued. You'll go like, music can be played this way. Oh, I kind of like this. It's weird, but it's something personal to me. I can kind of relate to this with listening to JPEG Mafia, for anybody that's listened to this artist, where he makes a lot of experimental music within hip hop, and it's still hip hop at the end of the day, but it's so different from what you would hear in hip hop, with the sampling, with the structure of the song. I played you a JPEG, or I didn't play you. I sent you a link to a JPEG Mafia song, EA. It was with the sample. I cannot think of the wrestler's name. It's fuck. It's the God damn it. It's the I'm trying to think of how it starts.
Rhodes, is it? Or
no.
Is it MJF?
No, it's how does it start? We referenced this a couple of times. You pull up to a red light.
Oh, Arn Anderson.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I do remember you sending that. That was cool. It's a nice little sample of that clip of that promo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but point is, like, you hear something that's so different from the norm, or what you're accustomed to, like you said, and it'll make you pay attention even more, because you're like, what is this? I kind of enjoy this, and I think that's what they were all feeling with Rock Lady. They were looking at this band like, what the fuck is this? You know, at first there was some apprehension as to where they should they cheer or not, but eventually they just got into the groove, and they couldn't deny what they were feeling in the moment. They were taken so off guard, especially when their favorite artist is just some pop mediocre band. You know, like if that's all you're listening to, and then you get introduced to a band like this, it makes sense why they would turn cold.
Yeah. For me, I want to say the band that got me introduced to like just this is fucking music is Slipknot, and they are so out there when it comes to just, well, especially their earlier stuff. Like just their music is like metal, but with industrial samples and keyboard, with DJ sounds, with percussions that they literally beat a keg with a bat to, and it just makes this weird grr kind of sound. And I remember being in high school listening to them for the first time, like people can do, and they do all this while wearing jumpsuits and masks, and they are just so out there. And I just remember seeing something like that, and just it's almost like being introduced. Like you like, I don't know, you like Creed, but then all of a sudden you see the intro or the opener is Slipknot, and you're just like, I kind of want to see more of these people. Could we just put a backseat on these guys? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's essentially what happened in this episode. Like, and I've seen that happen once a few times when I've gone to shows where people are just so more interested in the opener than what the other person that comes on after, where they're just talking, they're not even listening, they're just, can we look these guys up? Man, these guys are incredible. Like, I don't, wow, this oh, because that did happen once everything was all said and done. The other band comes out, Bacchus, whatever the fuck their name is, and this is what you don't do when you're in a band or any kind of performance. They stopped in the middle and got off the stage.
Yep.
I've maybe seen that one time in my life, and oh yeah, everybody.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
Man. You never back out on stage, because they'll hate you even more. It's like they came to see you, and it's not. It's funny because like what I thought happened kind of happened. You had maybe one hardcore fan that was still paying attention. Bacchus, I love you. Because you're always going to have those, no matter what, is just the hardcore fans. Mm-hmm. But everyone else was just like, but that's music. It is what it is. People have their likes, people have their dislikes. And I think if you have your fans, they'll always come back to you, but people just get different tastes to other artists and other music, and they'll go away and maybe be interested in them for a bit, but they'll eventually come back around. It happens. Yeah. I still listen to Metallica, and they've been around forever.
Yeah. They disappointed the fandom. So it didn't happen exactly how I thought it was going to work, because I thought they weren't going to perform at all. It kind of looped into what I believe was going to happen, though, is that they started up to perform, and then they just stopped because they saw the reception they were getting, which they weren't getting any eyes on them. They thought everybody was going to be hyped and prepped for them to perform. They thought they were going to have this whole thing on a stream, which speaks to their entitlement and I guess like lack of adaptability. Like you would think with the way these guys were talking that they were kind of polished, but you could tell this was just a hobby for them. And I feel like that was the real conflict in this whole Bacchus versus Rock Lady thing, is that they treated this as a hobby and Rock Lady treated this as a true passion. When they lost or when they won, it came with the necessary degree of like disappointment, or I guess happiness. You know, if you lose and you really care about something, it will hurt. This is why you see, like, there's diehard sports fans, diehard, they would show up to the stadium with the jerseys, face paint. If they lose, they may end up crying. They're not playing the sport and they may end up crying. And then there's like the casual fans, they'll watch it and they'll be like, oh, well, we're losing, we fucking suck. And that's it. That's the extent, because they don't care enough about that thing. They don't dedicate as much time. These guys were trying to have their cake and eat it too. They wanted to be respected as people who put in the time and the effort and the passion in their craft, but they didn't really care about it as much as Rock Lady. The one guy was like, oh, well, we lost at this little venue. Who cares? It seemed like the other guy cared a little more than the other guys, but
the lead singer seemed to give the most shit when it came to like what happened. But Satsuki, they had like 5,000 followers. That meant something.
What? How could this happen?
They had 5,000 followers on Instagram. That means they were going to Hollywood, baby. They were going to take off.
Yeah, he cared so much that he was willing to commit assault.
That whole exchange had me fucking dying, because they're flipping him off. They're doing the "you're a piece of shit, fuck you, you're your mother" and all that. Then all of a sudden he just comes at him, and Lisa's like, "Oh,
fuck." I didn't think you were gonna do that.
What happened to the wanting to take a chair and beat the shit out of the guy last episode? And then all of a sudden today, she's like, "No."
She's like, nobody's ever responded like this. I was just able to talk shit and get away with it. You're not supposed to do this. It's like when an NPC does something out of the dialogue tree, you're just like, wait, can they do that?
That wasn't supposed to happen. You're supposed to run away and cry. You're not supposed to kick my ass. I'm a woman too.
And then Ota just sinks her goon on her, which was super funny.
I would love to know that lady's backstory. We only see her maybe in a few glimpses here and there, that she protects the nest while they're performing, and she goes, "All clear, Otaha." What did she do to get her to be her right hand person?
I wouldn't be surprised if it's one of those things like an example I'll bring is Kaguya-sama, where she's like, why am I forgetting her name?
Okay.
No, blonde.
Why
am I forgetting her name? Where she's like served the family for years. That whole thing of like, this character's mom also served the I don't remember Otaha's last name, but they served like Otaha's family for years upon years. You know, like they have like this lineage of servitude towards this family. Hayasaka, yeah. Hayasaka. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it was one of those deals where her family has always served Otaha and her family, and they've always protected them. So, yeah.
Okay, yeah, because that happened, and instead of, performing what like they honestly should have, they should have just gone up there, performed, and if they lose as far as like the ladies in the crowd were more interested in them, then so be it. At least you still have your band intact, and you have your respect, and also congratulate the other band. Hey, you ladies, you rock fucking hard. But obviously, again, we had to have a villain these past 2 episodes.
Well, I'm not too mad at it, just because it shows that they can't handle failure.
Right. But I guess what I was getting at is now their whole reputation is tarnished.
Yeah. Like,
they're banned from going back to that bar. They probably lost a lot of their followers. They went from 5,000 to 3,000. I don't know. They lost some followers. They got canceled. They almost assaulted and beat up a lady, and they lost their manager because the manager was so taken aback and just really enjoyed the performance. And this part had me scratching my head, but also made me laugh because they were like, give us the video of the thing that, like, you recorded them and we're going to upload it. And I'm thinking, why would you do that? They just showed you guys up and kicked all your asses through their performance. Why would you want to upload that to your site? Just so that you could put like a hashtag of these people suck? Or maybe they were going to like edit it and put some like farts behind it or something stupid.
Well, I didn't, when we talked about this, I was saying that they were going to, they as a Rock Lady were going to win, and that the video was going to be uploaded because they did so well. I didn't realize that they didn't want to be uploaded in the first place. They just wanted to take the fans. They just wanted the fans in the crowd to be fans of them. They didn't want to be actually uploaded because they still want to be anonymous, considering Lisa's still hiding this from her family. And I'm sure, everybody else wants to hide this from their family, considering they're all like adopting different personalities when they're in school. So that was the whole thing, is that they knew, Bacchus knew that they didn't want to be on video, and decided like, oh, as revenge, we'll upload you guys and, get our comeback like that.
Yeah, we'll show how good you are to the world so you can get so many good followers. That'll teach you. And then all of a sudden the manager was just like, first of all, what strength to break an SD card in half? Those things they're made to last. I mean, maybe you can bend it, but he just snapped it in half like it was nothing.
Plastic is kind of hard to break.
Yeah, that's why I was like, that was really easy for him. He's a lot stronger. He's like, I fucking quit. This is my resignation. I don't follow you guys anymore. I saw their titties bouncing, and I want to be with them. I enjoy them, and you know what? I quit. I wonder if he's gonna no. He's probably not going to be their manager because they have Alice. Yeah. So, yeah. He's going to be a fan, though.
Yeah, probably. I could definitely see that. I could see like the bigger fan of the Bacchus fan club also being, one of their biggest, being Rock Lady's biggest fan. Her turning coat. We had like the last part of the episode with Lalisa having a conversation with Otaha. We had a little Yuri bait mixed in with the near kiss thing. But like the point of focus with that, I felt, was Lalisa just telling Otaha how this whole thing was going to work, as far as, I want to be an instrumental band, because Ota was making a suggestion, if people like to hear, vocal bands, why don't we become a vocal band? But Lalisa's staying true to the core of Rock Lady's identity and saying, no, what we're going to do is change the preference of other people. We're not going to compromise who we are. We're going to stay true to who we've been and make people bend to our will. And that's how it's going to work. We're still going to cater to the people, as far as, doing certain things that make them focus on us, easy melodies that get them into the, rhythm, and then we can rock out. But yeah, I really liked Lalisa's talk to Otaha right there, because I feel like it just encompasses the whole show of being true to yourself. And maybe not necessarily got to change yourself, but maybe you got to like translate it in a way that people can understand it. Yeah. But at the end of the day, you're still you. And I think Otaha started to respect where Lalisa's vision was going, because I mean, she was able to rock out how she wanted to, and found even more pleasure in trying to appease the crowd, you know. I think this episode properly showed how much of a leader Lalisa was, and how much Lalisa and Otaha complement each other. Also, this episode made me realize how short Lalisa was. My God, she is a midget.
When they were standing like right next to each other, Otaha, even though she's tall, I feel like Tina's the tallest of the four girls. Yeah, Lalisa was looking up at Otaha the whole time. But yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing. I was like, damn, she's short. She has to be like 5'1". She's short, little tiny thing just rocking on the guitar. Just going at it. No wonder she's got the energy that she has.
Yeah, like a chihuahua.
She's literally a human form of a chihuahua.
But yeah, she states that they'll make it to Fuji Rock. You know, she is the true leader. She's the leader of this band. It doesn't feel manufactured. It doesn't feel like she's the leader because she's the MC. It feels like she's the leader because she truly has a vision for where they're going to be and how they're going to get there. Like it feels totally earned, and I really like that.
Yeah, they did a good job with that. And hold on, stupid phone. Okay.
I wanted to say this, EA, with this episode, and especially like the last bit of it. I had a friend who was watching this show and talking about like the ships and whatnot. It seems like they're leaning into, I'm not saying they're going to get there because this is Yuri bait at the end of the day, but it definitely feels like they're shipping Lalisa and Otaha.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. And if that's the case, that kind of leaves Shiro in a weird spot because we know how she feels about Otaha.
Yeah.
But I was,
unless she wants to settle for a mental patient.
But that's the thing. That's what I brought up. I told my friend, I was like, wait a minute. There is low-key a crack ship that exists within Tina and Shiro. Now, I'm not saying this is a thing that they've shown in the series. She starts picking flowers. Does she love me? She loves me. She loves me not.
She loves me not. I don't want to pick the rest.
Oh
my God.
But like there is just a crack ship within those two, just because we have like a fake dominatrix and we got a fake submissive person.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she's a submissive. She likes to pretend like she's a dominatrix, but she's at the end of the day, abuse me, call me bad names, please spit in my mouth. What?
Yeah.
I mean nothing. I bet at the end of the performance she was just like, man, I played too good. Otaha's not going to belittle me. Why did I play my heart out? Damn it.
Yeah. The Crypto Store says Shiro almost seemed upset that Lalisa could change Ota's mind when she couldn't. Yeah, I could see that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like there's like if there is supposed to be these ships that exist within the show, I feel like Tina and Shiro is going to be a brewing thing, especially because I hate to do this. I've read a lot of girls' love series. I'll say with romance in general. Yeah. Yeah. Kinda.
I just have an eclectic taste, man.
With the thing that they love to do in romance series is they love the whole opposites attract thing. And considering how rocky Shiro and Tina's relationship was at the beginning, I wouldn't be surprised if that's actually a thing in a manga where they try to push these two because of like how different they are. With Shiro being like super cold and Tina being super shy and having that prince reputation but not wanting to own up to it. And again, Shiro is a fake dominatrix. She likes to pretend like she's in charge and everything, and she'll give you that sharp look. But deep down, when you really get down to it, with the right person, she will fold. And I feel like that is in a perfect realm of Tina, who she is also a fate dominatrix in a sense, because she has a reputation of being a prince, because she has like that real soft side to her. But we've seen it where sometimes she doesn't even try, but she's very she can woo people without even trying.
Yeah. She wooed the whole crowd.
Yeah.
Just by playing.
Yeah. It's like this passive ability for her where people will love her no matter what she does. And I feel like that could lead to the whole ship between her and Shiro, if that's a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I just can't get over the fact, just her talking to the bunny. We did so good, didn't we? Yes, we did. We did so fantastic. What's she gonna do when she's with Shiro? Don't look at me, bunny, because I'm about to do some things to her that's gonna scar you for life. Okay, I promise I won't look.
Should I fuck the shit out of Shiro? Yes. Yes. Finger her.
Oh my god. Just stick it all in there. Oh my god. Okay. I didn't know you'd be this raunchy there, bunny, but okay. We're doing this.
Oh man. But that's about it as far as
overall, I guess that was it. Overall opinion of the show, of the series.
I loved it. I thought
it was definitely better than I expected.
Yeah, as far as like a music anime, the music was great in the series. I'm debating if that last song in this episode was my favorite. Either way, it was one of my favorites. I really enjoyed it. Oh, that Otaha drum solo was so great. But I really like what the series embodied in that you follow your passion rather than what other people like from you. I thought it was a great message. I love these characters, everybody from Shiro to Tina to Lalisa to Otaha, even Alice. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with the show. I won't give it a number rating, but it was a really good show. It was a welcome change of pace from everything else we were watching.
Yeah, overall, it was better than I expected. This was your pick, and I saw the signs in the first episode. Even I was just like, Otaha's a bitch, just flipping her off and calling her names the very first day. She barely even knows this girl. What the hell? And then it kind of turned into a little more than what I expected. Like, it was about following your passions instead of doing what other people make you happy, or make them happy. Do what makes you happy. And yeah, it had the Yuri bait, and yes, it devolved over a period of time, but it's anime. You get used to it. So it's not something that you're going to like, this show is abhorrent, I'm not going to watch anymore. It is what it is. But yeah, the music was really good. I thought they did really good with the music. The opening's great, the ending's great, the music in the series is great. Yeah, all around. And the animation, albeit it was like CG and stuff, I thought they had fluid movements, especially with the drums and the guitar. Like, it seemed like if you were to how there's some animations where it's so unrealistic. There's a YouTube channel where they actually test this theory where it's like, if they actually played the instrument, this is what it would sound like animated. And it's like shit, because like the hands don't match and the drums don't match. But every once in a while they'll get it right, and then they'll play that too. I felt like this was another one of those series where they matched it perfectly with the sound. So I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Well, that is it for Rock is a Lady's Modesty. We had a fun time, but it is time to move on to a show we like to call, or they like to call, Apocalypse Hotel. It is the end of the series, episode 12. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Humanity has returned.
Yeah, one person. A person who has pink hair and is not a shuko lolly, but dressed up in a astronaut outfit. Humanity has returned as a singular entity. and oh my god, cute. No, she stayed at the hotel, and the hotel Yachio was just like, humans back, hooray! But yeah, she was calm and welcoming the human back, especially because she literally was waiting for humanity to come back ever since, the original manager was like, I'll be seeing you. We just got to leave this planet real soon because, it's getting us sick. But I promise we'll be back 1,000 years later.
No cap.
No cap. And then, yeah, all these years later, what's the human's name? Did she have a name? Oh,
yeah.
Tamari? Yeah, Tamari. Yeah, she's here. She's a guest. And we've come to find out that these humans are up inside these ships up in space, almost kind of like The Expanse or, I don't know, Star Trek or anything like that, where all you know is enclosed walls and beeping and booping noises. Mm-hmm. She went there because she was there to see if Earth was like livable, I believe is what she said.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, just imagine not even knowing that you come from Earth, but you never got to experience seasons. You never got to see the food that was on Earth or feel the grass or anything like that. All you saw was pictures. And here we have somebody that got to be on Earth, and they're just like literally looking at everything, and they're just taking in all the sights, enjoying everything. Like, that's a tree. That's a deer. That's a pregnant squirrel. That's whatever. Yeah, I enjoyed kind of like the contrast when they were like introducing that. I thought that was really cool.
This show is amazing. When Tomari enters the scene and we have a human, touchdown on Earth for all of the suspected time, I even like just the initial impressions everybody gets because for Ponko, she acts like Yachio acted when she thought humans returned when the Tanukis first returned, if you remember that episode. Like, Yachio was very excited. She was, going crazy. That's how Ponko was acting, but this time Yachio was acting very calm, collected, and just greeted them really, it wasn't the excitement that you would expect given how long she's been waiting. And that becomes like a lingering plot point for later, which I'll touch on when we get there. But focusing on Tomari and her experiences with Earth, I don't even know if I can properly explain all of this, but this episode just felt so satisfying. You could really see with Tomari being as like shelter as she's been, with living a certain lifestyle, being in space, living off rations, not experiencing the Earth that we know it as, and then her getting this experience, albeit briefly, but still getting that experience on Earth where she's seeing all these sights. She gets to see the fucking ocean. She gets to see the environment. She gets to just walk around. This episode made me appreciate life itself. I'm not even kidding. Like, truly, the freedom that I have now, being able to just walk outside now and experience the Earth. This series has this undertone of being very like nihilistic, but in actuality is very uplifting and is very positive about how we should be appreciative and gratuitous about the life that we're living right now and the Earth that we still have, because I feel like Apocalypse Hotel, with how it starts, is kind of like we're in a future where humans don't appreciate the environment, and it's kind of like the environment rejects them. They had to go out, and that's how humans are essentially ejected from the earth. But like with Tomari's experience with Earth, it takes this whole apocalypse setting that we've had, and it turns it into a world where we start to appreciate all the little things that we took for granted in this one character in this last episode. And I'm like, every time I'm just amazed how the fuck this show does this. I'm like, you have one episode and you make me care this much about one fucking thing that you do? Like, you just introduced this character, Tomari. I don't know shit about this character, but
last episode too.
Last episode. I truly don't understand how they are able to do this every single time. But yeah, I'm left awestruck anytime it happens.
Yeah, they did a really good job with that. There's just a scene. I know that jumps way ahead, but I'm just gonna say it anyway. But it just totally sums it up in a nutshell, where Tamari is talking with Evo, just basically he served his purpose. Here's all the records of literally everything that has been going on since you've been gone. My job is complete. There you go. Oh, by the way, the virus is gone now, so you could take off your clothes. Take off your astronaut suit, not the clothes. You know what I mean. But just like I said, the whole position. Like, here we have a character, Tamari, who is experiencing Earth for the first time, takes off her suit, breathes in the air, feels the wind for the first time, touches the grass, and then you have on the opposite end where where Yachio's having a midlife crisis, if you want to call it that, and she's just running and screaming with her eyes all bugged out. And then Tamari's like a joyous, like, it's kind of like, oh my god, this is Earth and this is what I've been missing my whole life. So they meet kind of in the middle at the hotel. But I just love that scene so much, where it's just and then we get there and she's like, look, I don't need my suit anymore. This is Earth. This is great. And poor old Yachio is just, I guess, not losing her mind, but her mind's definitely distracted. And I love the stuff that happens kind of like in between all that stuff. She's like pouring tubs onto the counter when it shouldn't have been there. Just messing stuff up. It's like, here's your water door bot. And it's like, thanks. But that's the 26th time today you gave me that.
She had her head and it like dug up.
Oh my god, she did that. She turned into an ostrich and buried her head into.
Oh man.
Yeah. That whole scene, just like I said, just encompasses everything as far as just the appreciation of life and just enjoying. I equate it to an archaeologist being able to look at a dinosaur.
Mm-hmm.
The movie Jurassic Park kind of sums it up in a nutshell, where you dig up dinosaur bones your whole life. There's a fucking dinosaur right there. You'd be brought to your knees too and cry.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. The Crepus Storm said, I talked about this earlier, but it's official. The curse has been broken with the anime originals. Though I do find it funny that even in the season where it was finally broken, there was still another original that was disappointing in Lazarus. EA was watching the uncensored version.
I meant the suit, not the clothes.
No, yeah, you meant the birthday suit. We know.
Yeah, yes. Oh my god. This was really good episode.
The whole scene. This series is just genius with its comedy. the fact that they bring back the fucking shampoo hats, a joke that they
Every
made in
time.
season 1, and they bring it back, and it is still fucking hilarious. They both see the shampoo hats, and they're like, holy shit.
Shampoo hat?
Holy shit, shampoo hats. She's like, holy shit, shampoo hats. I read about these. Too bad I can't use it. And then Yachio's like, the fuck you mean you can't use it?
That was so funny. They were both so excited. Because I think it was Tamari that was just like, oh, there's a shampoo hat there? Yachio, yeah, shampoo hat. Oh my god, yes. Oh my god, I can't use it though.
Yachio started to question whether she was human because she wouldn't use a shampoo hat. She was like, humans would jump at the opportunity to use a shampoo hat. This isn't making any sense.
This is what sets us apart from all the other hotels. What the hell? My god. Yeah, it was a life-altering experience. I think that's what kickstarted her literally just going buggy with her AI, was the shampoo hat. And she was just like, I don't know what's real life anymore, man. Like, what is reality?
Yeah, because her whole thing was she felt that she should have felt more excitement given that humans have returned after how many fucking years it's been. But
Thousands.
Yeah. But man, Ken, I love this show. Ponko has a great conversation with Yachio, which really, to me, exuded their sisterhood that exists within the two. She has this great conversation with her where she explains that Yachio has started to value the alien guest just as much as the humans. You know, she's been waiting on humans to return for all this time, but in between that time, aliens have kind of taken up that vacancy in her heart for what her purpose is. And I know this is going to sound really dramatic, but I feel like that's what life is in general. There's a lot of things that you wait for, that you strive for, and in the journey to striving for that thing or getting that thing, you find the value that you're looking for, or you find that's, you know, you find just as much value in discovering that thing that you're looking for in actually achieving the thing. Like, I don't know, maybe I want to be a doctor or whatever. Mm-hmm. And in lieu of me becoming a doctor and doing all my studies and saving people as a nurse, I find true value in what it is to be a doctor, even though I didn't achieve it in that instance. And with Yachio, it's like she found value in being a true like hotelier without having to serve humans. She found all of that
pretty much
in all the alien adventures and everything that she did, all these adventures without serving humans. And I think that was a conflict that she was going through.
Yeah. No, that's very well said. That's what she discovered within herself. It took her thousands upon thousands of years to figure that out, but I'm sure in her life expectancy or whatever, it didn't feel long at all. But yeah, that's something to go through, and I think she was just coming to terms with it. She gave Ponko a hug and began to out her, I don't even know where, probably her mouth, because I don't think she has tear ducts.
Yeah. Anytime she has to cry or anything of the sort, she has to do that.
She just does the and then just water comes from her. Where does that water come from, by the way? Is that like coolant or some kind of like industrial like stuff that's used? I don't know, like washer fluid. I don't know what you would call that, but it's literally just water.
And then they bring it back to the first or second episode where when they explain how the Earth is purified of the virus, it was
because of the guy.
yeah, because the green thing that he brought that they accidentally put in a lake and it's been growing all this time, and it's like, wow, it's like, yo, they really planned this from the very beginning.
Yeah, and Punko dropped it by mistake and went, "Oops."
Yep.
And in that episode, but it was really a godsend. It was meant to be. But I mean, I'm sure that was something that was lost in translation because the alien that was trying to talk to Yachio probably said that in episode 2. Put this in the water, your planet will be saved. Oh, thank you for staying. No, put it in the water. Trust me.
Bitch.
Yeah, give us 5 stars.
Bitch. You're not listening.
I mean, it's funny whenever you see shows like that, and then you go back to certain instances and points within the series, and then you kind of like put the pieces together, and you're like, that's probably what he did say. He probably like told her flat out, this is going to save your world. The humans can come back after this. But it's too little too late because by that point, we thought all the humans were dead. They're not. But they died out. But yeah, come to find out, the planet is saved. Or is it?
Yeah, because what we find out is that they have an allergic reaction, or we can't say they because it's just Tomari, but she has an allergic reaction to the atmosphere of the Earth.
As soon as she like takes her, I'll say close, her suit off again and everything else comes in, this is great. She just goes, chew. Oops. I don't know what a sickness is. What the fuck is this?
Yeah. And she has to put back on the spacesuit to be insulated from Earth's atmosphere to be able to function and whatnot. Which, it was kind of sad initially because I'm like, damn, I thought it was going to be like, one of those things where she was able to move freely on the Earth and whatnot. But I feel like it's flipped into this thing where, maybe there's future. Maybe in the future, humans can thrive in this society because even if that's not the case, the ending of it is like treat Earth like a hotel. And I'm like, when they said that, I was like, oh my God, this show is actually just great.
Yeah. Real genius, for sure.
They tied it back to that hotel theme, and I was like, wow, I actually did not expect that in that scene. When they said that, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And that was great.
Yeah, it's crazy because I thought the humans were going to start coming back too, but then they pulled kind of like the rug out from under you where it was just like, well, humans can't come back now, but you can visit it whenever you want, like a hotel, like you said. And that's kind of like one of those things where it's like, so humans can't come back, but they'll be back just probably as bubble boys and bubble girls when they come back. And that's, well, I guess we're getting close to the end when it comes to this, but Tamari's like, well, this has been fun and all. I enjoyed being on Earth, but I gotta go back. And by the way, I'll be seeing you real soon. Real soon. And she heard those words a long time ago from her original manager. And that's why she freaked out and was like, wait, what do you mean by that? And starts running and like chasing him down. Get your ass back here. And Tamara's looking down just like, bye, see ya. And then she said, why are humans so fucking stupid? Echo, echo, echo. And she got another achievement unlocked where you insulted a customer, and that won you the ability to whistle. I don't know how they correlate or become the same, but I just love. She's just like there, pissed off, sitting on the beach and everything. And she just goes, "Well, I whistle didn't pick up, but she just whistles." It's funny. Like goddamn humans.
Man.
But it ends. It has an after credit scene, and that after credit scene essentially just makes the world out to be one giant hotel. Come on over.
It's
Stay
so
a while.
It's so crazy because like what you said, what you thinking the humans were going to come back to Earth, I thought the same thing. But oddly enough, this ending gives the ending in general more optimism, because if, you know, for example, if humans inhabited Earth again, eventually we're going to get Earth to the point to where the apocalypse happened again. You know, it's going to be overpopulated. We're going to fall into the same patterns. That's just history in general. And then, or if the apocalypse doesn't happen, Harmony comes back. You know, he goes to planets to effectively,
forgot about him.
You know, effectively save the planet by killing the inhabitants. So it's like with this ending, they're able to, while it's, you know, while it may not feel satisfying in a initial sense of humans coming back and whatnot, and Tamara being able to move freely, it's like when you think about the longevity of Hotel Gongaroo and how the story is going to function, it has longevity because nobody is supposed to stay on this planet long term. It is become a planet just for people to visit, couple days, maybe a week, and leave. That way, everything can stay the same. And my God, that is brilliant.
Yeah,
I don't think it's going to have a season 2 or anything, but
I don't either.
This is how you tell a story.
Yeah, this is how you tell a story in 12 episodes, and this is, I feel, and it's crazy because like, I feel like this is a show that if you were to tell somebody like how you're going to make it and like how you're going to do it, oh, we're going to have multiple time skips and it's going to involve hundreds, if not thousands of years just jumping right into the future. You tell that to somebody, people are going to go, what? That makes no sense. How are you going to tell a story doing it that way? And they did it. They absolutely just nailed it. And the crazy thing is, there are characters that span from either the whole existence of the series, maybe halfway through the series, or one episode. And I feel like all of them are memorable. And that is what makes good storytelling and great characters. You know, whether it be the alien that you can't understand what he's saying doing this, to the ones that fucking died. And that's still going to be left unknown, which I personally love that. Because not everything has to be explained. There's not a scientist with a whiteboard going, well, it's because of this is what happened, and this is. They don't know. So why would we as the audience know? And then, like, it's left up to interpretation, which I like as well. They just, everything about the series, more of the aliens is coming in, the shampoo hat references, the random episode where Yachio becomes a badass and half a fucking tank. And let's not forget about the masterpiece that was the grandma funeral / wedding. That episode alone is worth this series alone. So, yeah, this whole series did a fantastic job. I would recommend this series, especially because I feel like this is one that I know a lot of people probably didn't watch, and they probably put it off for some other series that, you know, because nobody likes to give other series a chance unless it's based off a manga, let's be honest. And yeah, I think they did a great job. Whoever the director and writer is, I look forward to whatever else they do, and I want to see what they do in the future.
All right, EA. I'm gonna put you on the hot seat.
Not again.
Yeah. I need you to
The
bullshit
seat's
for like
already
a.
hot.
I need you to bullshit for like a minute because I need to use the bathroom. Can you
Okay.
do that?
Yeah, I can do that.
Hold down the fort.
I will. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. This is your old pal. I'm just gonna read some of the comments here. Are you are you really a human if you don't wear a shampoo hat? To be honest, I've never even had a shampoo hat. I know it's like a big thing in Japan, and it's actually really smart. And I think isn't it for kids where they just put it above their eyes so the water doesn't get in their eyes? It's genius. Let's see. Compared to this show, I compare this show as a gem to Odd Taxi, around 3 to 4, and I'm glad I was right. It's pretty good. I I don't even know what I would rate it, but it's definitely pretty good. I would put it up there with some of the best original animes probably ever made. She actually was excited about the shampoo hat, though. Imagine Yachio would have done it if somebody who didn't care about them. A bittersweet ending that is very fitting for the show. Absolutely. I enjoyed the ending. And to be honest, I think the ending is what makes it better than most. Because if it was, you know, a happy ending or even like one that wasn't bittersweet, it probably would have made the series not as good. But what is happening? Okay, he's just coming in ever so slowly. But Yachio made the sexy face again after. Yeah, she did, and she always makes the sexy face whenever she drinks. That's what we do know.
I was going to say, back on this, man. This ending was just great. The series stayed true to itself and being bittersweet was while still bringing like the comedic atmosphere to it with Yachio chasing after Tomari. I don't know, man. I feel like this series encompasses everything we would want in an anime original, in that it is so unpredictable. It can kind of just like toy with our emotions willingly. Like we could have an episode that's just purely comedy. We could have an episode that's, more melodramatic. We could have an episode that's just more action oriented. This series is what we expect in the anime original, in its unpredictability, in the ebbs and flows of our emotions. Honestly, this is one of my favorite things that we cover on this podcast. I'm not going to lie to you.
And it's a shame that C Tactics had to miss it. I mean,
I feel like we all would enjoy this. That's the sad part.
I think so too. I really think we would have had a great time talking about it, like all three of us. But it is what it is. But yeah, absolutely. They knocked it out of the park with this one. Trayvon was comparing this show to Odd Taxi. He said around episode 3 or 4. I'm glad I was right. And I'd say it's pretty good. It's kind of hard to like compare the two right now. You know what I mean? Because Odd Taxi is great. This episode is great, and also, we just finished it, so there's that whole kind of like favoritism of just finishing something, and you always want to put it higher than what you saw, what, 2, 3, 4 years ago and whatnot. But I definitely think both of them are great. This one especially. I mean, it's fantastic. I would definitely watch this again, probably with knowing what I know, what happens in the show. You could I definitely feel like this would be a series where if you watch it again, you could probably catch things that you missed the first time just because you were trying to figure out what was going on.
So I also want to mention this. This show is like a couple other shows that we watch on the podcast. That being The Fable.
Oh yeah.
And it was another show like this where we watched where it kind of had like this flat rating, but it climbed over the course of us watching it. I forgot what the other anime was.
I remember the Fable, and there was this one. Wasn't Odd because we didn't watch Odd
No,
Taxi when it first came out.
There wasn't Odd Taxi. I wish I knew what it was immediately, but I don't. It was something that we watched over the course of the podcast that kind of like steadily climbed and finally like was comfortably in that like 8 margin of ratings in my anime list. But yeah, this anime followed the same mold. I was watching the rankings as we were watching it, and it was in the mid to the low to mid 7s, like 7.3, and it steadily climbed and climbed and climbed. And I don't know if people understand like how my anime list rankings work, but usually what you like the first 2 episodes you start as is what you're in as. So for this series to climb up all the way to an 8 when it was in the low to mid 7 point somethings is very tremendous, and I think it's indicative of how great the show is, because people started to just watch the show, finish it, and go like, wow, this is actually great. Because it's really hard to get out of that hole once you're already in it. For me, you know, I hear the comparisons with Odd Taxi and whatnot. I understand why they're brought up, because anime originals, both like big surprises of the season, both happen in the same season. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure Odd Taxi happened in the spring season. Either way,
yeah, I'm pretty sure it did.
I'm not gonna lie. I like this just as much as I like Odd Taxi. I gave Odd Taxi a 10 out of 10. I would give this show a 10 out of 10. It is great as a comedy. It is great as a commentary. Everything that is set out to do, I think it achieved. I just think this show is a masterpiece for me.
Yeah. It's definitely high up there for me. I would definitely give it a 9. I don't know if I would commit all the way yet for a 10. And the only reason I say that is because, like, not to say that was bad. I thought everything was great about it. It's just, I don't know, 10s to me are just one of those where I have to really like something. And I did really like this one. I definitely, like, maybe I just need to let it kind of like marinate, let it stew a little bit before I could just throw down the number 10 and be like, yep, that was a 10. But this one's definitely up there when it comes to not just a surprise, but probably one of the better anime originals out there, and one that I would recommend to anyone. And yes, Decrepit Storm, we're going to keep referencing Apocalypse Hotel, explain nothing to see tactics, that way he has to watch it whenever he gets around to it.
I also want to say, since you said that, I'm not a whore. I don't just give out 10s to everything. I want to clarify that. There's not, I won't say there's not a lot. There's, out of everything that I've watched, there is a low portion of the 10s I gave out. All right. I need to clarify this just so people don't think that I just give out 10s willy-nilly. For me, it is very hard for
10s. Get them.
No. I'm not selling pussy. I'm not selling pussy. Listen, 10s come out scarcely for me. All right. Apocalypse Hotel has a 10. The final season of Attack on Titan has a 10. Taxi has a 10. Kaguya-sama Ultra Romantic, which is season 3, has a 10. The final season of Fruits Basket has a 10. Made in Abyss season 2 has a 10.
Good one.
Kill La Kill has a 10. Shinsekai Yori has a 10. The Madoka Magica movie has a 10. Steins Gate has a 10. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood has a 10. Planets has a 10. Momonoke or
Mononoke. Mononoke.
Yeah, Mononoke has a 10. Planets has a 10. Code Geass R2 has a 10. That would probably change if I rewatched it. Yeah, that would probably change if I rewatched it.
That is a controversial season too.
It has a 10 right now, but that's because I gave it a 10 probably 10 years ago. So, but yeah, those are the things that have a 10. And that is like out of the 300 fucking anime I've watched. It doesn't happen that often.
Even Hunter x Hunter doesn't have a 10?
No, it doesn't.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And that's like that's what you can name on both your fingers.
Yeah, I probably have more knowledge about Hunter x Hunter than I do any other anime I watched. I would say. Yeah. Because I've read it all the way through probably twice, and I've watched it all the way through again probably twice.
So there you go. We got another 10 by Sasuke the Savage, and it is Apocalypse Hotel. Well earned.
Yeah. Well earned. Moving on.
Oh, right. Right.
I need the factory reset myself.
Okay, yeah. We were once happy, now we're getting back into depression. We were talking about 10 out of 10 shows and episodes and series and movies. Now we're getting into the bottom of the shit barrel, so to speak. We are talking about, this is the final 2 episodes, by the way, of Future Diaries. We're talking about episodes 25 and 26. And oh boy, we got an ending for fucking sure. And I guess let's just begin with episode 25, because I don't even fucking remember what happened in episode 24. All I know is, oh yeah, we went into the past or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Yeah, that's what happened. So that happens. We're introduced to, was it Yuno's dad being a good guy?
Wait, hold on. Before we get any further, EA, how do you feel about people saying that we need to watch the OVA of the show? There's some people that feel that you did.
I skimmed through it. I put it in the notes, like at the very end. If you scroll all the way down, I literally watched the OVA. It's probably like maybe 25, 30 minutes long. And I skimmed through it, and it probably took me like 3 minutes to complete when I skimmed through everything. Sasuke, you're not missing a fucking thing. And I'll save that for the very end. And I can explain to you why, because I'll put a little button on that we can talk about it later.
For sure.
Yeah. People did talk about it, and I'll talk about it. That way, I'll save you, Sasuke. So, what's that the Nostalgia Critic says? I watched it, so you don't have to. So,
Sure.
Don't worry. I got it. I got you. But
yeah, Yuno's dad is now a good guy, apparently. You know, I had somebody when I was watching this on stream talk about like, Yuno's dad wasn't even like one of the bad. He wasn't like the bad part of the parents that we've seen. He definitely wasn't good, but he wasn't like the mom where she was sheltering the brunt of the abuse that we saw with Yuno and whatnot. And I went, well, I don't think I said this on stream, but for me, it was like the show didn't make any distinction between the abuse between the mom and the dad. So when they showed that he was caring about his daughter, I went, where's this coming from? Because they didn't show any love or any care or attention from the father to his daughter.
Not at all. Like, if anything, we saw abuse from both parents, and then we saw them in a cage, and then we saw them dead. That was the extent of what we saw when it came to Yuno's parents.
One of the first things he says when he sees Yuno in the state that she's in, he says, "Did your mother do this to you?" And for me, that was a red flag because I went, why the fuck would you ask that initially? Like, that was one of the first things he said, which would mean,
Who else is gonna be?
which would mean that he knew that abuse was happening with Yuno's mother to her. So I went, what? that was the first thing I was like, what did you just say?
Teacher, I have a question. Yeah, exactly. You're my daughter. Did they hitch in? Wait a minute. Are you older? You look different,
Oh my God. That happened in episode 20. You might as well mention it because it's so stupid. He looks at and keeps there's this gag in episode 26. Or no, this was the end of episode 25.
Is that where it happened?
Yeah. It was the end of this episode.
I didn't even see it.
There was this gag where he kept going like, "Oh, you look different," and they kept referring to her boobs. Like, they didn't say it. They didn't say it explicitly, but you could tell what they were referring to was
my own daughter.
Listen, I don't have a daughter. I'm not a father in general. I don't have a daughter, but I would think that my measurement of my daughter's growth would not accumulate in how big her boobs got from the last time I remember. Even if I thought that, I wouldn't say it. What the
like
fuck?
Some pedo, nasty, sick ass shit. What father would be saying that about their own daughter? And I mean, I know it was. You said this was a gag reel at the end.
Yeah, they kept making it a gag where he didn't say it explicitly, but he would keep implying it, and then eventually it just became about her boobs at the very end. Like they just like made it clear that it was about her boobs,
not her height, not you look more like older in the face, or like your hair's longer. No, you. Oh, honey, it looks like you have a pretty. Or you went from an A cup to a double D. Gross. Wow. I mean, that's why I skipped those things at the end. Those stupid murmur fucking things. That add nothing, by the way. At the beginning, they kind of did, but they devolved into stupid shit.
This is the thing. It adds a lot, but it's so stupid that you kind of want to ignore it. That's the actual problem. But this made me laugh. Murmur was trying to warn them of creating a time paradox, because was doing certain things in that timeline, the timeline that they're in now, where she was like, "Hey,
teacher,
don't." Yeah,
sorry, no.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, question, teacher. Isn't being here all together trying to do this death game kind of, I don't know, affecting everything?
See, this is why you're never going to succeed in life, EA, because we already created a time paradox because I killed myself in a fucking second universe. So I already did the shit that you're warning me about. So what is the criteria for creating a time paradox? Like, Murmur goes like, "Oh no, you can't kill your father because it's going to create this timeline and this happening and blah, 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 blah." But we don't actually know the consequences of what you do in a different timeline, because has already did so much shit in a different timeline. So what again, what constitutes a time paradox? Because theoretically, that should have already happened the second Yuno jumped in the second timeline, killed herself, and had knowledge of the previous death game, albeit at the very end, but still had the knowledge of a previous death game in her mind. That should have already constituted a paradox. So I was very confused as to what they were trying to avoid. It's like at some point when you get into the future and you try to do this time paradox shit and you can't change this butterfly flip, blah, 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 blah. At some point you just got to go fuck it. Like Dragon Ball Z. You just got to go fuck it.
Yeah. Fuck it. Time. Everybody's back to life. Universe restored. Fuck it. Yeah. No, I agree. Just the whole concept. Dumb. Already changed it before. Stupid. Oh, Uryu is a good person. Did you know that, Satsuki?
How could I forget it? This. How could I forget it with them yelling this at me?
I mean, they literally are holding up a sign. Like, if this series was holding up a sign or like had flashing fucking letters up at the screen like this, it would say Uryu is a good person. Uryu is a good person.
Love her. Applaud.
Love her. She's applaud. She's great. She's spectacular. Uryu just goes ahead and calls Kurisu and says, doesn't say who she is. She just calls from a payphone, calls his number from memory, and then just says, "Hey, Kurisu, your son, he's gonna die. You better go get his heart checked out." Wait, who is this? Click. Isn't she nice?
She's so pleasant. I wonder if she's gonna call the students, the student's mom of the people that she killed in that explosion and tell them not to go to school.
She's gonna like call each and every one of their parents. Don't bring your son to school. Don't bring your son to school. Don't bring your son to school.
On this day.
On this day. 2 years from now. Don't bring your child to school. Don't bring your son. She was there that whole time. Wow. She's so nice. Look at her calling each and every one of those concerned parents. She's still going to blow up the fucking school, though, but isn't she nice?
Oh, again, this character, from the mangaka, you enjoy Uryu. I don't know what it is. I don't know if you enjoy the writing behind her character design. It's her character design that you like.
It's her design.
Yeah.
100%.
You really enjoyed having this hot terrorist lady, and you wanted to keep her relevant in the story. The problem is that you didn't write it in a way that could keep her in the story consistently. It's like you can't make her super sadistic and then go, no, but actually she's a great person. No, it doesn't work like that. And for whatever reason, that keeps being her character of her doing bad shit explicitly, but her still having some semblance of morality that makes her, I don't know, on a different playing field than everybody else. It's like, oh, actually, she's a better person than you know. How?
Her and Yuno are one and the same.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how? She's
and
like,
the funny.
Uryu's like, you're crazy, you know? And it's like, no, you're crazy.
I would say, you ever take a look in the mirror? And also, Uryu's the type of person to just do things for the main characters, and there's no rhyme or reason behind it. Because when she's told flat out, why are you helping? I got nothing else better to do. I whatever.
Yeah, meh. That was one of the worst moments in the episode. Did that happen in this episode?
It may have been. I know fights Murmur.
Yeah, it was this episode. Yeah, she literally said, goes, what the fuck are you doing this for? What is it in for you to gain? And she goes,
which is a solid question.
She shrugs her shoulders like Michael Jordan and doing a game winner against the Trailblazers. What? You don't know? What the?
This is why I said they needed to put Akise in that position over Uryu
So much better.
100 times out of 100, because it would have made that much more sense. Why are you doing this?
Because I love you. And then that would have contrasted with Yuno's love for Yuki.
It would have been so much more interesting to see that fight. It's a disappointment we'll never get to see it, because the mangaka had a fucking Woody for Uryu and wanted to put her in it because she's hot. Why are you doing this? Oh, I don't know how to write her, so I'm just going to say, I don't know, just because I'm fucking bored and got nothing else better to do with all the power of God.
Oh my god.
And fucking tastic. Just applaud yourself. That the best writing ever.
One of the best parts of this episode comes where Yuno decides to use her god powers and puts Yuki in this dream world. In this dream world, she decides like it's a world where she doesn't exist, right? So because she doesn't exist, supposedly Yuki gets what he wants. Which what she wants in Yuno's perspective is to get with this girl that he used to have a crush on, the girl with the glasses. Don't remember her name. But in this dream world, in this dream world, girl with glasses rapes Yuki.
No cap.
It's just no. This is Yuki, by the way. Just literally like, I don't want this.
He is literally screaming to the ether that he does not want this. And then Yuno's like, you liked her in that one timeline.
You liked her that one time when you were whatever. I'll just give this to you. And she just takes her clothes off in the middle of the fucking school classroom.
It is.
She just takes her clothes off. Oh, I love you, Yuki. What the fuck is this, Yuno? This is what I wanted. He's just being dragged into the darkness while scraping the ground.
Yeah. That is literally how the scene is, basically, though. Where she's just like, yeah, this is what you wanted. It's like, no, I'm literally telling you this is not what I wanted. This is not me from that timeline.
Right. I don't even know who this girl is.
It's so I understand the sentiment of what they're trying to tell, but as always with the show, it is never told in a good way with any type of nuance, thought, or context behind it. She just, just has this happen to Yuki, supposedly because of this being what he wanted. And it's like, no, he's kind of telling you that's not what he wants. So
I told you this before. I said it 100 times. I said it as she was fucking dragging me into the dark corridor that I didn't want this, yelling, no, my God, no, I don't want this.
no,
But you don't listen.
He seems to be enjoying himself.
He's screaming bloody murder and saying, no, no, no.
He's just
We all know
masochist.
no means yes.
Yeah.
God.
The Crepper Storm said he did say straight up, your breasts got smaller when Murmur shrank them. Yeah, at the end of the episode. Yeah, he said that. That's why I said before, because they kept replaying the scene of him saying like, oh, you changed, whatever. That's why I said before they weren't explicit in what he saw was a change in her. But like by the end of it, they were just like straight up, your boobs got smaller. Like, he didn't say that, of course, but basically, your boobs got smaller. So, yeah.
Such happy moments with Yuki's dad. I'm sure he's going to be a great father.
Yeah, they showed a whole memory scene of Yuki with his mom and dad going to the going to see the stars, and it's like Yuki abandons that. We're jumping ahead to episode 26, but Yuki abandons that to be with you.
I guess a couple more things before we get to that. Murmur becomes Kid Buu because her chains are broke. Because you know what? That's never really explained. She had chains. They broke the chains, and she got stronger. Why?
That wasn't even an you. You didn't even.
What was the reason?
You didn't even lead up to that. This randomly happens. You, Murmur, I break your chains, your restraints. And she starts beating Uryu's ass. First and foremost, it doesn't make sense that Uryu beat Murmur. That didn't make sense already. How did someone who just became a god that just tapped into this power beat someone that had this power for how many fucking years?
Sasuke, it's because she's hot. She's hot and has one eye patch, and boobs.
The author loves this character.
Yep.
We're seeing favoritism. Yeah, we're just seeing favoritism backfire tremendously because he truly loves this character.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And was that the last bit of 25?
No. There was one part.
Oh.
There's a scene where Yuki says maybe he was too mean to Yuno.
Shut up, Yuki. You were too mean to Yuno? You talking about the psycho bitch that kills everybody that's obsessed with you and is a literal yandere? You were too mean to her?
We had an arc where she drugged you. And this was in the aftermath.
We quickly forget about that.
This was in the aftermath of y'all having a quote unquote good date. She drugged you, kidnapped you, isolated you from all of your friends, and had you pissing through a jar.
I was a little too mean to her.
Maybe I shouldn't.
I gotta do something special for her.
What?
Make her an ambrosia salad.
I was just like, wow. This show is
just doesn't give a fuck anymore. At this point, they're just like, I want to end this. I'm meeting my deadlines. I don't care how long it takes or what makes sense or doesn't. I'm writing this.
I couldn't believe it. I'm like, there's not much here with this Yuki and Yuno love story. At least something that has substance. Yuno was, lonely. She says as much in I don't know if it was next episode or this episode, but it was the one few part that I liked in this episode, these batch of episodes, where she says like she was kind of only with Yuno or Yuki out of necessity. It's like she needed someone to obsess over. And I was like, wow. It seems like you fucking understand your series for the first time ever. But then
25 episodes in.
Yeah. But then they kind of like get rid of all of that development with Yuki still expressing this love over Yuno and everything. And I'm like, I don't think you understand exactly how this relationship formulated. Yuki formed this relationship out of necessity to survive. Yuno also formed this relationship to survive. If you guys wrote it in a way where, I don't know, at the end of at the end of the day, they realized that they don't really love each other and they just needed each other for their circumstance.
Satsuki, that's crazy talk. That only would have made things better and would have actually made sense. We're bad for each other. We shouldn't love each other. But for some reason, I love you. But no, we shouldn't love you. Just bad. Just bad. Bad. Bad.
And that's where the whole Akise thing could have worked in with playing a wedge in between these two and making them realize certain things, because Akise had this supposed like unfiltered love for Yuki where it wasn't based on circumstance or anything of the sort. It was just something that developed naturally. Whereas with Yuki, again, his love for Yuno came because the death game. And then with Yuno, it came because she needed someone to latch on to because she wasn't getting the proper love and attention from her parents. So she wanted someone to obsess over, to give her some type of anchor into the world, because she was so disconnected with everything. That would have been great. That would have been good storytelling. But instead, we get these guys loving each other either way and wanting to form a relationship either way because, yeah.
Reasons.
Yeah.
Reason.
They acknowledge that the relationship started because of bullshit, but they don't like come to the conclusion that the relationship is bullshit.
Yeah. It would have been interesting just to see what kind of ending they could have done with, just the realization that this is not healthy. What are we doing? This is wrong. We need to go our separate ways. On to episode 26, which this is the final episode of the series. It is the last. This is the last thing we'll talk about when it comes to Future Diary, because we are officially done. We can wipe our hands clean of it. We have succeeded. We watched all 26 episodes, and we're much smarter because we're better off because of it. I mean, what happened to my brain there? No. But so Murmur brings back Yuno's dead father, despite the fact that there are rules to changing the space-time continuum. Wait. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Yes, Sasuke.
They literally make it a plot point that they can't bring back someone to life.
Uh-huh.
Deus Ex Machina makes it a point on 3 separate occasions to Akise, to Yuno, to Yuki, that he can't bring anybody back to life. It is a big plot point that leads Yuki to killing his friends because they're trying to tell him you can't bring back your mom and dad back to life, and he doesn't listen and kills them anyway. Again, it is stated you cannot bring people back to life. And Murmur does so in this manner that is so fucking nonchalant. You might miss it. You might miss it if you're not paying attention. She literally just goes, "Oh, you got stabbed by Yuno? Let me give you a pat on the back. You're good now." And it's like, wait, whoa. Didn't you say this couldn't happen? So why is it happening now?
Because we have to have that happy scene that happens later, Satsuki. Don't you know? We can't have that happy scene now. with him dead.
This show,
Satsuki,
man.
didn't mean to kill her mom and dad. She didn't mean to do it. It was an accident. She just, you know how whenever you feed goldfish and sometimes you overfeed them? In this case, she didn't feed them enough. She kind of underfed them and maybe forgot.
5 second
These things
rule.
happen. Yeah, 5-second rule. Went in and said, Mom, Dad, doing good in my school now. Why are you not responding? Oh, shit.
That was
I
the
forgot
thing
to feed
too.
them.
They kept making the distinct of pointing out that Yuki didn't mean to kill her mom and dad, and I went, starving somebody is one of the most excruciating, not just excruciating, but like also time consuming things that you could do, like passively do to kill somebody.
Uh-huh.
How the hell could you forget to feed someone? Like they're literally you're going home every single day and they're screaming to you probably, hey bitch, we need food.
Hungry. And
she's just like, oh, I forgot. I had my AirPods in, couldn't hear them.
I just didn't hear him that whole time. I was just like, these things happen. Just a little slap on the wrist.
Just vibing.
I feel like I've been too mean to you, though. She only killed her parents and didn't feed them. I think I've been too mean to her, man.
I don't understand how they try to carry on that plot line with a serious connotation. There's no way just forgot to feed her parents. Ellie brought this up in my when I was live reacting to this. It would have made so more sense if the parents died in an accident when they were locked up.
Yeah.
Because then there would have been genuine regret with what she did. And it would have made sense that she didn't try to kill them, instead tried to react to the abuse. And instead it manifested itself in something that was very what's the word I'm looking for? Very permanent in their death. Like she didn't try to kill them. She didn't try to starve them to death, but something happened where it was an accident and they died.
Yeah, like, I don't know. She gets mad at her parents, mom or dad, and says, get away from me, pushes them down the stairs. They trip, fall backwards down the stairs, break their neck. That could be one of those things where it's just like, I didn't mean to kill them. I just was trying to get them away from me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Instead of, oh, I forgot to put food out for them tonight. Oops.
For a couple of different days.
for a couple of days.
It's like, bitch, I remember to feed my Nintendogs and you can't remember to feed your parents?
She does the whole, and then hits the side of her head and does the tongue.
Oopsie.
Silly me. Your parents are dead now. I think you should treat this with a little more respect. Oh, did my parents die? I gotta dig a 1,000-foot hole. Hold on, I'll be right back.
Oh my god.
Oh, by the way, when this is all happening, all of the future diary users are alive in this timeline, and they are all getting their happy ending. And no, I'm not talking about a spa. I'm talking about they're all getting just, none of their parents are dying. The psycho kid gets a loving family. The blind girl finds out a bomb under parents' car.
Can we focus on the kid for a second? Him having a loving family doesn't change him being a fucking like
psycho.
Yeah, because he literally said in the episode where we focused on him that he didn't care about avenging his parents. He literally said that. He said, I don't give a fuck about my folks. So even if you say, all right, because his parents were there, he doesn't have all that malice, whatever. that doesn't explain like why in where we see him, he's like, I don't know, he's like an actual kid, and where we later see him in the timeline we know, he's like this genius kid. Like, what happened to that? Because his parents died, he became a genius? What?
It's because his parents didn't love him enough when he was 3, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, it makes no sense. The blind guy is a superhero. Chef Boyardee apparently is fucking the mayor.
Oh my.
And who else? Oh, like the guy and the girl that was in a relationship. I don't think anything changed with them. They just were like normal.
Yeah, which I will say that is the only Future Diary users I feel where them having a happy ending makes sense.
Yeah,
because I feel like if they were never influenced by the Future Diaries, that they would just continue to live how they were living before, which was being a couple, fucking each other, and that's it. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
I think that's very consistent with their characters. Everybody else is like, all right, so you're telling me because you don't have a Future Diary anymore, you're now fucking a mayor? What the fuck? How does that even happen?
Yeah, I didn't understand that logic or that connection at all. It's like, did they at all give off signs that they liked each other?
No.
Not at all. They just, the author was just like, yeah, let's just put them together. They say this is lazy writing is what it was. And was there anyone else?
You forgot the biggest one.
Oh my God. You're right. Uryu is now happily giving birth to a bunch of kids and being a baby factory with floating kids. Hey, she got her happy ending too. Good for her. It couldn't have happened to a better person.
Mind you, Nishijima is looking for the terrorist in that timeline still because she was on the news. So she's still a terrorist in this timeline.
And so that if we were to believe this timeline is also true, she blew up and killed all those kids. She blew those fucking kids to smithereens, and she gets to have a happy ending. Fuck her. She's still a terrorist. You're right, though. Fucking Kurisu is like, where's this terrorist? I'm trying to... And then we have old buddy cop over there just, harboring a fugitive by fucking her to death. Or not to death, but just fucking her, giving birth. And then because if she dies, that's going to be one hell of an orgasm. Everybody explodes, apparently, because the bomb's attached to her. That whole situation, my God. But yeah, Uryu couldn't have happened to a better person. She gets a happy ending with floating kids and shit. So good, couldn't have happened to a better person. So everybody has a happy ending, including and her parents. They see their unconscious daughter in a half-exploded building, and now all of a sudden they're not going to be abusive, and they're not going to be schizo and whatever and go crazy. Now they're like, we're going to be better parents from now on, you mean the world to me. And I loved how they tried to have this. I could be blurring the two episodes together, but I don't give a fuck. It's past the point of caring. They tried to have this poignant moment of talking to her past self, where it was like, I'm gonna kill you, do the and but that's not the me, and things could still be better. Blah
that
blah
hasn't
blah.
happened yet.
It hasn't happened, and it's like, God, I used to have so much hope. This was 2 years ago, by the way. I used to have so much hope And so what happened to me? God, well, gotta kill myself. Oh, well. And yeah, like I said, they just had this really sentimental, just touching scene. And then, like I said, parents abusive the whole time, anytime or whatever. They all of a sudden start caring because their daughter was in peril. They didn't give a shit when they were beating their daughter. They didn't give a shit when they put their daughter in a cage. They didn't give a shit when they just cursed them out, called them names, did this heinous, horrible stuff. It's only I can beat my daughter's ass. When it comes to anyone else, that's my ass to spank.
Who are you to abuse my daughter?
Yeah, who are you, hooded, big boob daughter? Wait, what? I'm confused. There's two Unos.
And then two murmurs. Oh my god.
Yeah, they were. Oh my god, two murmurs. Pull the fucking thing off. I'm murmur one. I'm murmur two. It's like thing number one, thing number two from Cat in the Hat. Jeez. And just dumb. Just dumb. Everything's just stupid. Everything's just supposed to have a nice little bow on it with a happy ending. But we're getting to the final part. The part where Yuki was going to have his wonderful hallucinogenic moment with his parents looking up at the stars. But he's like, right, yeah. I don't want to do that anymore. Why? Because I want to speak with... I'm sorry, who do you want to see? Oh, and the voice comes through. You know. And Yuki's love breaks through, and he saves her with love. We always make fun of it in anime. The power of friendship conquers all, but he literally loves her so much to the point where she can hear him, and he like stops her from killing her younger self, hugs her, and they have a moment. And it's a stupid ass moment. It is so dumb because this all could have ended 4 or 5 episodes ago. But we had to do this. I love you so much, I can't kill you. I love you so much, I can't kill you. I love blah, 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 blah. They love each other, Satsuki. They love each other. So, Yuno wants to end everything. And what does she do? Well, because Yuki at this point, he's just like, kill me, and we'll make things better for the future. And Yuno's like, okay. Stabs herself in the side.
And then they try to frame it as if like Yuno stabbed Yuki, and it's like, we know that didn't happen.
Yeah. She's like, okay. Shoom. Impales herself. She dies. And now, well, Murmur takes Yuki because he's officially one in his universe. And now Yuki is the new god. He is now god. Congratulations, you won, Yuki. You are now god. You have control of the whole universe. Everybody has a happy ending except you.
And why should we give a fuck? We know that you can converse with Yuno in any timeline.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. Like, none of this is consequential. Because from what you said in the OVA, which I remember a little bit of the OVA with like him conversing with Yuno and whatnot, it's like, if you wanted to, you can converse with Yuno at any time you want. And even if that wasn't the case, like Murmur said in the episode, why are you tripping over Yuno, you not being able to talk to Yuno? You could get with somebody else, which is very true. It's like,
and she even said, like, you've been in this plane of existence for 1,000 years and haven't created anything. So he's just being an emo brat for 1,000 years.
Yeah, because he lost his middle school girlfriend.
And mind you, this is how the series ends. It ends with everybody having their happy ending, except for him. But then, like, you get a little message at the end of of it to kind of like tease, oh, is there going to be more? And there is. It's an OVA. I'll make this super quick. The first half is nothing but a beach episode. It's a beach episode, and Yuno's in it, and everybody's grabbing each other's tits, and then they incorporate the diary users, and it's dumb and it's stupid. And then the other half is apparently the quote unquote plot, and then that's when they're like, "Oh, we can get you back. Oh, what do you got to do? Oh, you just got to spin around, click your heels 3 times, and say there's no." No, I'm kidding. She literally,
There's no place like home.
Him and Akise break through the space-time continuum where he was in that plane of existence for 1,000 years and did fuck all with it. And she breaks through. They are finally together. And that's it. That's how it ends. A beach episode in the first half, and then breaking through some stupid convoluted breaking through space-time just to get with him. And that's it. They get together. They say, let's start anew. Let's start fresh. Credits roll. Nothing happens after the credits. And that is how the series ends.
As
So fucking terrible.
Remember I had to read the same manga for 10K years. What would you want to read for 10K years straight?
Oh, it was 10,000 years. He didn't do anything.
Nothing, but if I had to choose out of everything I read, the first thing that comes to mind is Kakaguri, just because I've reread it so many different times and I've enjoyed it every single time. Maybe Attack on Titan too, just because it's more long running.
Yeah. So that's the end of the series. That's literally it. So here are my final thoughts about Future Diary as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
There, deep in there, is a good concept for an idea for an anime.
Very deep.
But it's very deep. But it fails on every sense of just everything it attempts. It fails with the characters, it fails with the writing, it fails with us giving a shit, it fails with shock, it fails with suspense. For a show that involves a game about like a battle royale style where the winner becomes God, nobody wants to be God. It seems like no one gives a shit about being God. It seems like everybody's just twiddling their fucking thumbs, just waiting to get after Yuki and Yuno because, yeah, that's logic. And all these people apparently are going to be God or want to be God, even though they're all the craziest fucking people in the world, which makes no sense. But all in all, a thing that really irritates me the most about Future Diary is that it has a fan base. People like it. People actually say, oh my God, the ending was so sweet. This is such a great fucking episode or series. This series is good. This series is terrible. And I understand, like, there's going to be people like us, Sasuke, where we have logic and it's just one of those where we're like, this is bad. And other people think the same thing. It's also bad. But it's got like a pretty good fan base of people that actually legitimately like the series. It's insane to me.
Just for some statistics, this show, according to my anime list, is rated a 7.38, which is I won't say that's good, but that's relatively okay. Like it is not indicative of a bad show being a 7.38. And in terms of its popularity, according to my anime list, it is the 37th most popular anime in the world.
That
top 50
is not right. Top 50. See, this is what drives me crazy about this series. It fails in everything, but people like it. Am I missing something here? Do I not like 37th for every series? That's an Odd Taxi. That's a Apocalypse Hotel. That's a whatever. that's 1,000 times better than this, and then you get this schlup and this garbage, and people eat it up, and it's like, this is the kind of stuff that makes I don't know, like studios look at it and they're like, people like this stuff, let's make more of it. And then you get more slop and you get more trash. And let's face it, not every anime is perfect, not every anime is great, but then you get something like this that kind of like breaks the mold, so to speak, and you're just like, I mean, maybe when I was younger, I thought it was good. I know for a fact even when I was younger, I maybe at the beginning thought it was good, but I was just like, this is not good as it was anymore.
This
and
series,
maybe that's where it comes from. Like a lot of people grew up watching it and haven't returned to watch it again.
this series is like Squid Games if you were lobotomized. Like if you didn't have a brain, you would think this was Squid Games.
This is I love Squid Games. This is great. You're not watching Squid Games, you're watching Future Diary. I don't have a diary. My God, this show is a testament of sometimes you have an idea and it's unique, but the execution, if done badly and poorly, can ruin the whole series. And I mean, what do I know though? It's the 37th most popular anime in the fucking world. So what do I know?
Well, I was going to say, I think the series is a testament to sometimes your synopsis being greater than your execution, and that I think there's like an innate thing with, especially Americans, where this type of synopsis of a death game we really enjoy, and maybe it's because we don't get it as much. Is why I think Squid Games became as popular as it did. Because when Squid Games came out, I was like, when I first seen it, at least, I was like, there's a lot of things that do this whole death game thing. Because for some people, it was like the first time they've seen it. I was like, I'm a Danganronpa, player. Like this is not new for me. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think for Future Diary, maybe it was like a novelty thing, where they first see this death game thing play out. They get their first yandere, and all of this is new to them, and it's exciting. That's and true. The twist really throws them for a loop. But because for me, that I've seen this whole death game thing play out, and I've seen series of its ilk also play out, the twist didn't hit me the same as other people. Therefore, this series, I think, was just the first of a lot of things for other people. And that's why it's rated so high. And that's why I think it's as popular as it is. Because this series, again, was the first time people were introduced to certain things. And I think it's really as simple as that.
You make a really good point when it comes to all that. I think you hit the nail on the head. Not to say that there hasn't been yanderes and other stuff. Because you and I, we grew up watching anime, and we got used to the notions, and didn't really tell people our likes and dislikes when it comes to this, like, oh, do you watch anime? Oh, yeah, totally. But we kept all that stuff to ourselves. So when it got to a point where, because this is around the time when anime was starting to become mainstream and popular. So I agree with you. I think this is one of the first introduction to a yandere. And, oh, she's cute. And, oh, she actually... And this is the other thing, too. And I know anime is notorious for this, but how many times do we watch series where they spend so many times trying to get with the other character, and it's like the whole romance is there, and then at the end of the episode, it's gone because they finally get together. We start off with this series where the two characters are with each other. Mm-hmm. And that itself is also different compared to other animes. Not to say it hasn't happened before, but it's just, I agree. I think it was like, we have a yandere. Oh my God, there's a couple by episode 3, and they're kissing and they're holding hands. And wow, this is amazing. And death game and suspense. Yeah, it definitely, like, this is a show. I feel like a lot of people liked when it first came out, and they should go back and watch it, and they should really like give it an honest opinion and just look at it and go. Because I did that with Elfen Lied or Lead, whatever. I loved Elfen Lead, but then when I went back and I watched it, I thought to myself, why the fuck did I like this?
Yeah.
I bought the damn DVDs. That's how much I loved it. But I'm man enough and honest to say I had rose-colored glasses on. I looked at it in a certain point of view, and I liked it for whatever reason. It was probably the hyper violent stuff that was really edgy and cool at the time. I was like, whoa, and boobs and all that other shit. So, yeah, that's in my opinion, what this series is. It's Elfen Lied, 20 some odd years later, going back to watch it, and you're like, this is not good anymore.
Same thing happened to me when it came to Code Geass when we rewatched R1 on this podcast, where although I still thought it was a very good show, I didn't think it was the masterpiece that I thought it was when I first watched it. When I first watched Code Geass, I thought this was the peak of anime. Nothing could touch it. It was so phenomenal that other anime should just stop trying to achieve the same heights it reached. And then I rewatched it on the podcast, and I was like, wow, this anime has a lot of flaws that I did not even account for when I first watched it, because I was a kid, I was a teenager, wasn't thinking about things as hardly, but now with, the mindset that when we watched it, it's like, I'm thinking about things a lot more. And because I think more importantly, it's not my first rodeo. Like, it's not one of the first introductions I have to anime. Not saying Code Geass was that for me, but it was one of the earlier things that I watched. That's important. Where you watch things is important to how you evaluate it, because then you have a reference point to how like something better at some genre or same synopsis. If you have a reference for anime doing it better, like, oh, you have this apocalyptic setting, here's an anime that does it better, that matters, because you're comparing it to that, and then you're going, all right, this is like the heights it could reach. So that's what it is with Future Diary. I've seen this whole death game thing done way better in other anime and games. I've seen this whole yandere thing done better even earlier than Future Diary. That being in JoJo with Yukako. I think that's her name. And in general, I've seen like a lot of aspects of Future Diary's writing done better in other anime. So yeah, it doesn't hit me the same. I think even when I watched it as a kid, I think the peak of where I had Future Diary was like a 7 out of 10. And then it gradually got lower and lower and lower. So I never regarded it as like one of the best things that I ever watched. But yeah, currently now, I think Future Diary is horrible. It is one of the worst things I've ever watched.
Yeah. It's one of the worst animes I've watched that is considered great by other people. Like, other people hold it in high regard. And I don't think it's like something where if I were to compare it to when people talk about Toradora and I call it overrated and people go, what? You don't like Toradora? I don't think there's going to be pushback when I tell people, yeah, Future Diary sucks, because there's going to be people that'll go, yeah. Yeah, you're probably right. And there's people that'll like it too, go, yeah, I know it sucks, but I still like it. Just stuff like that. So.
Ryu's hot though.
Ryu is really hot, and when she does that face is just super cute, and it's just like, no, I'm good. But yeah, that's Future Diary. Wave goodbye, because we are not seeing it anymore.
Yeah.
And like I said, the OVA, that's literally all that happened.
Fuck the OVA.
That's the whole thing. Fuck the OVA. There's no point in watching it. You could literally skip the first 15 minutes and then get to the remaining 10, and then that would be the story. Even then, I was skipping through it because I'm like, yeah, blah, 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 cry, blue, blue. Okay, now she's going to do this to break through. Okay, she's there. Hug. Let's start again. Start over. She's no longer going to be crazy or anything. So,
yeah. Decrepit Storm says, number 37 in terms of how many people watched it on their list. In terms of how high is rated, 2,514. Yeah, that is a future diary in a nutshell. That is crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, insane. Well, we have some viewer questions tonight.
Viewer question.
And tonight we got 6. We got a pretty good amount of questions tonight. So thank you for writing in.
Thank you.
Question number 1. You're stuck in an anime world for a year. Which one do you pick?
We've gotten this question too many times.
We've definitely gotten this question quite a bit. So I'll just say future diary, but in America, because nothing will happen to me.
Secondly, which one do you pick? I mean, I've said this how many times? Fairy tale. I feel like it's a world that's not that hard to live in.
Yeah. So we can just make that nice and quick. Next question. It's a 3-parter to one question. Name a moment which can be in any media. Name a moment which never fails to make you cry, never fails to make you laugh, never fails to make you rage.
Ooh, hold on.
So basically, cry, laugh, and be pissed.
Okay, yeah. Answer this question.
Mm-hmm.
I got to do something downstairs. It's going to take me 1 single minute, but I'm gonna think about it on the way.
Okay. All right.
Cry,
yeah, I got this then.
Cry, laugh, rage. All right, got it.
All right. Okay. While he's doing that, for me, this is okay. I'll do cry, and I'll do an anime-related thing. The thing that never fails to make me cry is in Clannad After Story. And it's the part where Tomoya is reunited with his daughter. I think it's Oshio was her name. And he's like reconnecting and whatnot. And the little girl loses a toy. And then she basically gets upset and says, I lost the first thing that my dad gave me. And she's talking about him because I think that was the first time he was like there for her because his wife died, whatever her name was, I can't remember. Nagisa was her name. And then he was depressed and had a daughter and she was 5, didn't even like take care of her. So, the daughter was like, there's only 2 places where I can cry. And she says, in the bathroom or in my father's arms. And then she hugs him and she's crying and he's crying, but for different reasons. And I fucking cry every time, whether it be dubbed or subbed. I lose it. Like that's a scene that just makes me lose it every time. And another scene that never fails to make me cry, Homeward Bound, The Incredible Journey. When you think that Shadow's not going to, or not Shadow. No, it is Shadow. That was the dog's name. Where you think he wasn't going to make it home and he was the old golden retriever. And then he climbs up that fucking hill. I break down every fucking time. And I just, I'm a mess. I'm a fucking mess when that sad scene comes. Satsuki, I was talking about a sad scene the whole time. You want to talk about your sad scene?
A moment that never fails to make me cry. Whenever I think about, they say it can be in any media, but I immediately think to anime. I think about Code Geass because I think that had pound for pound, like some of the most emotional moments for me. I think the thing that makes me cry the most in media, if I could describe it, is something that is futile, but you still go through with it. And that can be manifested in a lot of different ways. But in particular with Code Geass, the one moment I always think of is the Shirley scene in, I think it's season 2 where it happens. Shirley's the orange haired one that is in love with them the whole time.
Okay, yeah.
The scene in particular I'm thinking about, and this is going to spoil people who haven't watched Code Geass. So if you haven't watched Code Geass, mute me for the next 40 seconds. So the scene in particular that I'm talking about is when Shirley ultimately gets killed by Mao, and in the scene, Lelouch is distraught, and in that scene, Shirley is expressing how she knows that Lelouch led to her father's death, but she still loved him, even with her memories being corrupted. She still fell in love with him, and the whole time Lelouch is trying to use his Geass to bring her back to life, where he commands her not to die, but it doesn't matter because obviously his Geass can't do that. So whenever somebody does something that is ultimately futile, but they go through with it, whether it's to keep their sanity or whatever it may be, I think that's the thing that makes me cry the most. Like, effort that I know for sure won't bear any fruit makes me cry.
Wow. That is a powerful scene. I remember that.
Yeah.
Scene that never fails to make you laugh. I don't know if y'all know this. I laugh at pretty much everything. I have a funny bone when it comes to just anything and everything. So for me, I could literally laugh at anything, even if it's a messed up joke. But if I was to say something that never fails to make me laugh, even just thinking about it and just puts a smile on my face, the Rush Hour 2 or Rush Hour 1 and 2 movies are fantastic. I love those movies. They make me laugh. Something about Chris Tucker popping up and saying, "I've been waiting for your sweet and sour ass." Just always never fails to make me laugh. And then the guy says, "If you move, I'll kill him." And he says, "Go ahead. I don't even like him." Just that whole exchange just makes me laugh. And of course, the cherry on top of that whole scene after he drops the gun, then he pulls out the other gun and kills him. "Wipe yourself off. You're dead." Is hilarious to me. And God, I always laugh at that. It's the best. But anything can make me laugh, to be honest.
I don't know. I think pound for pound, when I think about this, is like when people hate for no discernible reason, that always makes me laugh. This has happened in so many different games where a lot of my favorite characters end up being characters that are just assholes, and the people are like, "Why do you like them?" And I go, "I don't know, because I find them funny." And the thing that I find funny is them just for no discernible reason hating on somebody. It doesn't have really any purpose to it, any rhyme or reason to it exactly. They just hate for no fucking reason. I don't know. That typically is the thing that always makes me laugh. It's not a 100% foolproof method or anything like that, but yeah, if I had to pick something that makes me laugh, that would be it.
Nice. All right. Last question. What is the thing that never makes you or never fails to make you rage? And for me,
it's a lot.
There's a good amount, but the ones that I think I felt seething was, and I'm always going to go back to this, where it was Game of Thrones, Joffrey and fucking Ramsay Bolton. Like, those characters, and all the actors in the show were fantastic, and they picked the best characters for every fucking buddy.
Mm-hmm.
But kudos to the people that played Joffrey and Ramsay Bolton. The most despicable, hated, just disgusting. Oh, you just wanted to choke their like every time I understand he's older now and he's not a little kid and he's well, I don't know if he even acts anymore, but I can't help but look at his face and just think to myself, what an arrogant bitch, and I want to punch him in the face. Because he just everything he said that came out of his mouth just made me want to just and he did a great job at that. Same with Ramsey Bolton. Just horrible human being, terrible. That's why it was fantastic to see him just get absolutely destroyed by his own dogs the way they did. Joffrey wasn't as fulfilling because I felt like he deserved more. All he did was get poisoned, and I'm like, he deserved more than that. But Ramsey Bolton getting shredded by his own dogs was satisfying. So you hate a character so much that when you see whatever happened to him next, it was just so satisfying. I remember yelling, watching that scene, going, "Yeah, fuck that motherfucker." And I guess one last thing when it comes to media, even though I understand this isn't a movie or anything, anytime my Arizona teams play games, whether it be NBA or the NFL, and they break my fucking heart. So that never fails to make me rage either.
You know what? Now that you say that, the thing that never fails to make me rage is a waste of potential. And this goes to like everything in media. Yeah. When I can recognize how something can be utilized, and then not even that it's not utilized in the way that I think it, but it's not utilized in a way where I think it maximizes again the potential and what everything it could be. And this goes for a lot of different series and manga, anime, movies, whatever it may be. It's just when I identify something where I go like, all right, yeah, this could be a good. It can even be like a synopsis or a plot point within a character or whatever. And I go, yeah, this could be. And then it just never comes into fruition like the way I thought about it, or how highly or the ceiling I thought about it. And I just go, wow, well, they just wasted that. So yeah, wasted potential makes me rage.
Yeah. Good questions. Good questions. Next question. Now Future Diary is over. What is the worst thing about this terrible series? The writing. Just plain and simple, the writing.
Yeah. Wasted potential. It goes with this. I think there is very little thought that goes in with this series. I think the series truly it goes for these haymaker twist of plot points that doesn't accumulate into something being very lasting and satisfying. It always feels like they try to go for surprise, this happened, instead of just letting things play out naturally. It feels like there's no nuance or any real long lasting thoughts with a lot of the plot points. So yeah.
Yep, that's pretty much, I agree with all that. Spring versus winter anime for 2025. Which season have you preferred so far? I don't even remember winter. I feel like spring had knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, this is no question. Just for clarification, the things that we watched in the winter, again, the things that we watched in the winter, not what happened in the winter, we watched Sakamoto Days.
Oh, yeah, that was fun.
Zenshu. What, you saying you don't like Zenshu?
No.
Oh. Well.
Sorry.
Shit. Fuck. Damn, what else do we watch?
I felt like we watched because I think it was like leftovers from fall. There was what was it? Kenshin. We watched Kenshin.
True.
And then I think there was another one, but I can't remember.
Let me see. Yeah, so I
See, we
think
can't even remember the winter.
it was
Definitely
definitely
think it's spring.
it was definitely Kenshin. I don't know the other anime we watched for the winter season though. Did we? No, we didn't end up watching Witch Watch.
No.
Yeah, I think that was it. I can't think of anything else that we watched. Yeah. So definitely the spring season was better.
Yep, for sure.
Definitely.
And it's not even close.
Yeah.
Next question. What's an obscure anime you wish more people knew about? I mean, Epitaph Memories is one that I always
Anime.
love to introduce people to. Ping Pong was the first one I ever introduced these guys to. I love showing it to everybody just because of how unique it is. And I feel like Bakuno doesn't get as much love as it used to. I feel like people forget about it over the years. Those are my three.
I wish they would have said like anime and manga. If I had to choose just anime though, I would probably say Planets. I think that's an anime that deserves a lot more recognition than it does. I would say Apocalypse Hotel, just from what we watched.
Yeah.
Given that I don't think a lot of people are tuning in for it. And the last one, I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna say Insomniacs After School, because I think that's a really good romance series that a lot of people may not have tuned in for. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Last question of the night. Would you guys ever do a game show type episode for the podcast?
It's a good idea.
First of all, we haven't. So that's if you want to count that one Gauntlet one we did, that's really technically the only game show we ever did. But would we do one? Yeah. I just don't know how we would do it. Like right now, off the top of my head, but I mean, game show type, like maybe like make a list of, and this is just again spouting off the top of my head, make a list of anime, do ones that we would kill or pass, and do like a tournament style until there's the ultimate king of anime. That would be the way I could think of it.
Well, okay, here's what I thought in my mind, but this will only work if we had C here. I think it would be a fun idea if we had like this Jeopardy style trivia based on all the things that we watched for the course of KOA. Some of these questions will be softball questions, whatever it may be. Maybe I'll ask like a question of a name of a character and ask what series it's from, knowing that you guys, you know, but like something like that.
The name of a character, I would fail.
Something like that, where it's like Jeopardy style questions based on everything that we watched. I think that would be very fun because that would draw on all of our knowledge from what we've watched. You know.
Ooh, and we could like switch it up a bit. Like I could do certain questions, you could do questions, C could do questions, and then we would pit whoever against each other, and we would ask the question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that'd be cool.
I think that would work, but again, it would require three of us, and not two of us is just way too weird for it to work. So,
yeah. So to answer your question, whoever wrote that, yes,
Choco,
we would, and also, who knows? Maybe if we do like an actual like live panel or whatever, we could turn it into a game show. That would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
So. Yeah, that is it for the podcast tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for sticking on with us, like you guys and gals always do. I'm gonna drop in the chat the King of Anime podcast Patreon stuff that you wouldn't see anywhere else except for the Patreon, where we talk about all kinds of wonderful things: SpongeBob the movie, KOA Pokemon Celebration, Watamote Celebration, video game special, Madoka Magica Rebellion KOA Plus. That's what we kind of call it, but it's basically a Patreon. And the Drunken Podcast, where me and Sasuke talk about our drunken adventures because...
Hold on.
Well,
I'm gonna call.
Let's jam. Okay. So So that's happening. Yeah, and also only $1, one stinking dollar, folks. You cannot get any better than one stinking dollar. So, also, I sent the Blue Sky, which we let you know whenever we go live. I also posted in that Blue Sky the wonderful video that Decrepit Storm did. It's part one of a best of greatest clips and whatnot. Once again, Decrepit, you're the man for making
Great
that.
video.
Absolutely fan-fucking-tastic. Can't wait to see the rest. No rush, but definitely looking forward to them whenever they become available. And yeah, so thank you all for tuning in. And Sasky,
That's me.
yourself out.
Well, I am Sasuke the Savage. You can catch me on my YouTube channel, Sasuke the Savage. I am in a process of editing my Ubel video right now. It's a video about Ubel from Freerin, talking about her strength and whatnot. I'm actually editing that, so it's not one of these mythical videos where it's like I have an idea, I have a concept of an idea. No, it's actually being processed as this, as we speak. I'm editing the audio and whatnot. Not as we speak. I don't know why I said that. In the same day, I'm editing the audio for that video. So that's going to come out on my main channel, as well as my Twitch, Satsuki the Savage. That's with a DA, not a THE. Tomorrow I should be streaming at around probably around 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I said I wanted to watch Spirited Away, so maybe that's what I'll do tomorrow. So
Nice.
you can catch me on those channels.
Cool. And thanks for everybody tuning in once again. We will be doing this next week. We will be talking about the last episode of Lazarus and see how good and or bad that'll be, not having any high hopes. And, well, everything else is pretty much over. Rock is a Lady's Modesty is done. Apocalypse Hotel is done. Future Diaries is thankfully done. And, I don't know, maybe, I guess it'll just be a really short podcast next week.
Yeah, well, I'll say next week we will be announcing what we'll watch for the up and coming season.
That's right.
So, well, you'll hear it first from our podcast next week, Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard. We will announce, if you don't catch the podcast, we'll announce it during the weekend, probably maybe like a Saturday, Sunday, what we will watch. But Thursday will be official as to you guys knowing exactly what we will be watching, so you can follow along with us.
Tune in. Oh, Decrepit Storm said, will there be an award show next week?
I don't know, because
I feel like those
it feels
are
weird.
Always without C.
Yeah. It feels weird with just the two of us. I feel like we can do like a pseudo award show where we go like, all right, this is what we like. You kind of speed run it maybe, but
yeah, we could probably do that.
Yeah.
Just not as in depth, because it's always great whenever C is a part of it, because he likes to draw out the awards and the other ones that he talks about. It's always fun whenever he's here, but
in its formal capacity, in its formal capacity, it just doesn't feel the same. So I would say no if you're expecting the same award show that we usually give, but like in a condensed, bastardized version, sure.
Yeah, we'll talk about what we liked and disliked about it. So thank you all for tuning in, and we will see you on the next show. Later.
Peace and love.